Back in downtown Phoenix, Patrick Corbin and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Game 2 of this 2017 season against the San Francisco Giants. D-backs a chance tonight to start 2-0 for the first time since 2012. And this is the lineup for Bruce Bochy's Giants that Patrick Corbin will face tonight.
Some changes for Bruce Bochy tonight with the left-hander on the mound for the Diamondbacks. It'll be Gorkys Hernandez leading it off, playing center field tonight. Brandon Belt at first base. Hunter Pence out in right field with Buster Posey behind the plate. Brandon Crawford at shortstop. Eduardo Nunez will man third base. Chris Marrero getting the start in left field today. Joe Panik slides all the way down to the 8th spot, playing second base, and right-hander Johnny Cueto on the mound for the Giants.
And for the Diamondbacks, it's left-hander Patrick Corbin, your Ram truck starting pitcher. A bit of a bumpy ride last year. No pitcher in the National League allowed more runs last season, but for Patrick, it has been a very encouraging spring, and tonight he gets the ball for game number 2.
Yeah, we touched on it in the open of the show. I really think in a roundabout way, it served Patrick well to go to the bullpen last year. Maybe a little bit of a wake-up call for a guy that looked like he was on the fast track to be a superstar in the major leagues. We mentioned the injury issues, but he came back this spring and threw the ball extremely well, especially that slider that he throws to the back foot of right-handed hitters.
Let's take a look now at the Diamondbacks around Patrick Corbin. Our eye on defense brought to you by Nationwide Vision Center.
David Peralta manning right field tonight. A.J. Pollock out in center. Yasmani Tomas over in left field. Jake Lamb at third. Chris Owings at short. Brandon Drury at second. Paul Goldschmidt at first, with Jeff Mathis once again doing the catching for left-hander Patrick Corbin.
Tim Timmons is our plate umpire tonight. He'll call the balls and strikes. Jim Wolf, DJ Rayburn, and the crew chief, Greg Gibson, first to third. Just a perfect night for baseball here at Chase Field. Glad you're with us on Fox Sports Arizona. It's the Diamondbacks and the Giants, the second of a 4-game series, and Gorkys Hernandez in center field tonight against the lefty Patrick Corbin will lead it off for the Giants. No Denard Span in there for Bruce Bochy.
Span has a little bit of a hip issue that gave him some trouble right at the end of spring training. I doubt if he would have started tonight against the left-hander anyway, but it gives him an opportunity to rest that hip and probably be right back in the lineup tomorrow.
Hernandez trying to bunt for a base hit. Corbin's on it. 2 pitches, 1 out for Patrick.
First baseman, number 9.
Patrick, the former basketball player, always athletic out there when it comes back to the mound.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys I wish would bunt more often, but not against a guy like Patrick Corbin. He bounces off that mound well, fields his position extremely well, and got off a strong, accurate throw to Goldie for the out.
D-backs have the shift on for Brandon Belt. Brandon Drury, the second baseman, near the bag. Chris Owings, the shortstop, out in short right field. Ball 1 to Belt, who was 0 for 3 with a pair of walks in Sunday's opener. And that's nothing new with Brandon Belt. We mentioned this the other day. A very disciplined hitter. Only 5 players in baseball walked more frequently last season than Brandon Belt.
He's a little bit like A.J. Pollock in the respect that he's a good on-base percentage guy. You can hit him at the top of the order, get him on base ahead of Pence and Posey and Crawford, or you can hit him down in the middle of the lineup where he's more likely to drive in runs.
Yeah, Belt had 17 homers last year to lead the Giants. It's 2 balls and a strike.
Of course, the difference is A.J. Pollock can steal a base or 2 for you. I wouldn't wait on Brandon Belt to steal any bases.
He rolls it right into the shift, and there's Owings. That's a 6-3 putout. 2 down. Time now, BB, for your Valley Honda dealers. Key to the game.
Well, we like to call this opening day part 2. We had the hoopla and the festivities and the banners and the flyovers and all that stuff for opening day, and went out and won a very exciting ball game. Now you settle into the grind. Day game on opening day, night game tonight, the first of many this season. So I'm sure Torey Lovullo and his staff would just like to see the guys settle into a rhythm early in the season.
The dangerous Hunter Pence. 1 for 4 Sunday. He singled and walked on opening day. Patrick Corbin has had his problems with Hunter Pence in the past. Look at these numbers. He's hitting close to 500 against Corbin, including 4 home runs.
Those are pretty gaudy numbers, just like the numbers that Pence has hitting here at Chase Field. His last 16 games, he's hit .377 with 9 extra base hits. It's not uncommon for opposing hitters to come in here and put up crazy numbers. Very good hitter's park, great hitter's backdrop in center field. And we know the ball flies.
Drives this one deep to right field. Peralta will play it high off the wall. He just missed another home run. He'll settle for a double, his first of the year. Hunter Pence, in the words of our colleagues just to our left, has some serious ownage on Patrick Corbin.
Yeah, unfortunately he does, but you make mistakes like that up and out over the plate, they tend to get hit hard. 94-mile-an-hour heater, belt high out over the plate, and he just misses a home run behind David Peralta in right field.
He's in scoring position with 2 down for Buster Posey. Posey last year, 288, 14 home runs. Ball 1.
Yeah, this is the gauntlet for Patrick Corbin, getting through Pence, Posey, and Crawford. Those 3 guys combined have hit .361 in their respective careers against Patrick Corbin, with 13 extra base hits, slugging .687. The rest of the lineup hitting .243 with 2 extra base hits.
Well, Patrick was on his way to a quick inning, but Pence just missed a home run, the 2-out double. Now he's behind in the count on Posey. 2 balls and no strikes. Buster hitless on opening day. He was 0 for 4 with a walk. Posey has seen a lot of Patrick Corbin over his career, and he's done pretty well against Patrick. 35 at bats, a batting average better than 300. Well, this really is the gauntlet for Patrick. And again, it is for most guys facing this lineup, 3 and 4. Fastballs in the dirt, and Patrick is behind 3 and 1. Any thought here to just sort of punting on Posey and dealing with a lefty Crawford, first base open?
Yeah, I'm sure he would hate to do that in the first inning of a ball game, but sometimes you've got to let your brain overpower your body, and you got a base open down there at first. A left-handed hitter, although a very good left-handed hitter in the on-deck circle, but it would set up a force play at any base, take the bat out of Buster's hands, and go to work on the left-hander Crawford.
And that may have been what the discussion was about with Jeff Mathis. Pence at second, 2 outs, 3 and 1 on Posey. He lays off, and it's indeed ball 4. And here comes the shortstop Crawford.
Shortstop, number 35, Brandon Crawford.
Another good offensive season for Crawford last year. 12 homers. He knocked in 84 runs. 2 on and 2 out now.
Good offensive numbers for Crawford last year, and arguably the steadiest defender at shortstop in the game.
He's really good out there.
I mean, he's not going to make a lot of highlight reel plays, diving in the hole and jumping to his feet, or jump throws from deep in the hole, but he makes the play on everything he gets to.
Important for Patrick to get ahead in the count at 0-1. Crawford had a couple of hits on Sunday. He singled, doubled, and scored a run. in the air. An easy play for David Peralta. Nicely done, Patrick Corbin. He strands 2 Diamondbacks coming up against Johnny Cueto. Diamondbacks coming up against your Ram truck starter for the Giants. It's Johnny Cueto. 18-5 in his first season in San Francisco last year. He threw a league-leading 5 complete games, including a pair of shutouts. And that 2.79 ERA was the 5th best in baseball.
Yeah, he was 13-1 in the first half of the season last year, earning him the start for the National League in the All-Star game. This guy has a variety of pitches from a variety of deliveries. He is a real handful out there on the mound.
A quick look at the lineup for Torey Lovullo's Arizona Diamondbacks.
A.J. Pollock leading it off out in center field. David Peralta in right field. Paul Goldschmidt down at first base. Jake Lamb will be at third. Yasmani Tomas in left field with Brandon Drury at second. Chris Owings at short. Jeff Mathis catching. And Patrick Corbin swinging that bat in the 9 spot.
A.J. leads it off. Boy, it's nice to be able to say that after last year. There's a strike. It's 0-1. 3 hits in Sunday's opener, including that homer off Madison Bumgarner that tied the game in the 6th inning. His numbers an abbreviated season last year, only played in 12 games. Chop to third. Nunez. One away. Our eye on defense for the Giants, brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
As we mentioned, a little different look for Bruce Bochy tonight. Chris Marrero in left, Gorkis Hernandez in center, Hunter Pence over in right. Eduardo Nunez and Brandon Crawford will be on the left side of the infield, with Joe Panik and Brandon Belt on the right side. Buster Posey behind the plate for right-hander Johnny Cueto.
Well, against the right-hander tonight, Johnny Cueto, it's David Peralta in the 2-hole. And Chris Owings batting 7th. Those two were flip-flops Sunday against the lefty Madison Bumgarner. Cueto, of course, gives you the shimmy and the shake and the whole thing. The Louis Tiant, the half Tiant, the full El Tiante, you name it, he's got it.
Occasionally he won't even wind up. He'll just kind of walk toward home plate and deliver the ball.
The old quick pitch that's becoming more and more popular. Like that. Kind of a mini quick pitch that time. He sort of pretended like he was going to go into the full windup, and then bam, there it is.
I don't know how he choreographs all this stuff. I mean, does he make up his mind before he starts his delivery, or just kind of freelance what feels good on a particular pitch? There's no rhyme nor reason to his deliveries.
Drop that one in there at 80 miles an hour, and he's back even 2-2. I remember when Oliver Perez was pitching for the Diamondbacks a couple of years ago, and he had a similar motion or motions like Johnny Cueto does, and Perez said he just sort of decided as he started to throw the pitch whatever he felt like doing. Brandon Belt takes that one himself, 2 down.
Well, there's a method to his madness. The idea of pitching is to try to throw off a hitter's timing, and with so many different windups, quick pitches, extended wind-ups, stops and starts and pauses, and it's got to be tough to stand in that batter's box. And then to compound it, he throws 3 different fastballs: a sinker, a cutter, a four-seamer. He throws a slider. He has a really good straight changeup.
Paul Goldschmidt now. How would you deal with Johnny Cueto?
I would definitely attack him early in the count. First, second, maybe the third pitch. I wouldn't see more than 3 pitches in an at-bat.
Saw the D-backs try and do that Sunday against Bumgarner. They were very aggressive early in counts. Nunez, a nice stop at third. And he retires Goldie. Johnny Cueto, a 1-2-3 first inning. No score at Chase Field. The D-backs and the Giants.
Welcome back. I'm Kate Longworth. No score as Patrick Corbin takes the mound here in the 2nd inning. Happy to be back in this starting rotation. The lefty worked tirelessly this spring and off season, fighting to get back into that rotation after briefly being demoted to the bullpen last year. Patrick said he felt like this spring he checked all the boxes, feeling very natural in his delivery, and now hoping that carries over to game action tonight.
And he's facing Eduardo Nunez, the third baseman, to lead off the top of the 2nd inning. Fastball in there for strike one. Nunez had a big day on Sunday. 3 hits. He stole 2 bases, drove in a run, scored a run. And of course, he had 40 stolen bases last year. He stole 2 bases Sunday. And Jeff Mathis was saying after the game on opening day that when Nunez gets on the bases, he's always a nuisance. And that was certainly the case on Sunday.
It should be an interesting matchup. Of course, we hope Nunez doesn't get on base tonight, but should he get on base, Patrick Corbin does an outstanding job of holding potential base stealers. Had 22 starts last year from April until the early part of August when he did not allow a stolen base.
2-2 on Eduardo Nunez. Cade was talking about Patrick struggling as a starter last season, lost his rotation spot in the middle of August. But boy, he was good in that bullpen. He did not want to hear discussion about more bullpen work this year. He thinks of himself as a starting pitcher. But his final 12 appearances last year, all in relief. He pitched to a 2.70 ERA, and that created maybe a little bit of an identity crisis around him. But with this new regime running the Diamondbacks, they were not about to give up on Patrick Corbin's potential, not certainly at this age as a starting pitcher.
Well, especially since he's had success in that role. It might be different if he had struggled every opportunity he had to go into that starting rotation, but he has been really good.
Well, so is Nunez in this series. He's a nuisance, and he's on base again. Second hit for the Giants.
The pitch out over the plate and elevated a little bit. Bangs it right back over the mound into center field for a base hit. Patrick needs to get the ball down a little better.
Here is Chris Marrero, and he's quite a story. This is his first major league appearance since June of 2013. He was signed by the Giants last November, and he forced his way onto the opening day roster. He has never homered in the big leagues, but he hit 8 home runs this spring, including exhibitions. And there was no way he was not going to make the team after that. So he is, for now, the right-hand hitting version of a Giants left field platoon with Jared Parker. Parker's a career 200 hitter against lefties, so he's on the bench, and Marrero's in there tonight against Corbin. And as you said, Bob, they are going to keep Nunez as close as they can.
For Marrero, 8 Cactus League home runs. I don't know if I hit 8 home runs in my entire Cactus League career.
You can see Nunez last year, 40 stolen bases. He was caught 10 times. Yeah, it was almost every other day. You looked up, and Marrero at Scottsdale Stadium was hitting one onto the berm out there. And he's a guy who's played in more than 1,000 career games in the minor leagues, but fewer than 40 in the majors. His first big league appearance in nearly 4 years. He said hard work pays off sometimes. It sure did this spring. He's down 0-2 though. Marrero had a pretty good season in the Red Sox organization last year. He spent the whole season at AAA Pawtucket. Had 23 home runs there in the International League. It's always nice to see stories like this. I mean, Chris Marrero has paid his dues. He's 28 years old. He'll be 29 in July.
And guys like that are easy to root for. You know, they, as you said, paid their dues, more than paid their dues, and probably had many opportunities along the way to hang it up and go do something else. But whether it's love of the game or just unfulfilled prophecy, whatever it is, it keeps pushing guys like Chris Marrero to keep trying to get better and hoping for that opportunity once again, and here he is.
Well, you mentioned that prophecy. He's a former first-round pick, Marrero. He was the 15th overall pick in the 06 draft. That was by the Nationals at a high school in Opelika, Florida. But his last big league look was 8 games with Washington back in 2013. He's played in Mexico. He's been playing independent ball. He's been everywhere. Called strike three. Corbin sneaks a fastball in there for his first strikeout.
Second baseman, number 12.
Well, that's something Patrick did so well when he was at his best. Bully right-handers inside. Pound that fastball right in on their fists on that inside corner. And he got some velocity on it. It's usually 93 to 96 miles an hour.
Joe Panik. Goldie still holding Nunez on the bag at first. Panik drove in the game's first run Sunday with a sacrifice fly. And then tripled and scored to lead off the ninth inning against Fernando Rodney. 1 for 7 career against Corbin. Where that ball that Panik hit in the ninth inning Sunday was well up the batter's eye in dead center, close to a home run. But that set up that Diamondback comeback in the bottom of the ninth when they got 4 consecutive base hits, all with 2 outs, including Chris Owings' walk-off. There was so much buzz after that game, BB. All day Monday, everywhere you went, people were talking Diamondbacks.
It was great. I mean, a full house obviously here at Chase Field for opening day, and just about everybody stayed to the end. Yeah, it's a good thing they did.
Quite a game. 1-1 on Joe Panik.
I mean, if you like pitching, you got to see some really good pitching from Madison Bumgarner through the first 5+ of that game.
Took a perfect game into the 6th.
And then if you're rooting for the home team, you got to see the desired result.
Nunez still holds. Panik. Yes, he went. Greg Gibson at third. And it's 1-2. Yeah, Bumgarner was saying after that game Sunday that's the best he'd felt in a long time.
Whew.
And I believed him.
I can't imagine feeling any better than that. Man, he was just ridiculously good.
And Greinke certainly pitched very well too. Zach, 5 innings, gave up only 4 hits.
It was a little bit more of a labor for Zach. His command just wasn't as fine as we're used to seeing it. Yeah, the game plan was there against opposing hitters. I think he threw the right pitches in the right situation, but occasionally he was just a little bit off and fell behind in some counts. Really had to work hard to get through this Giants lineup with the limited damage.
Yeah, didn't really throw that fastball for strikes. Some of the Giants hitters good at laying off those breaking balls and changeups. Ooh, that one is not a strike, says Tim Timmons, and the count is full 3-2. That was close. Cueto, the pitcher, on deck. Patrick so far has walked 1, struck out 1. Nunez stole 2 bases Sunday, was also thrown out at third. So the Diamondbacks are certainly aware of what he can do on the bases. He's on the radar. And there he goes. Takes off for second. That's ball 4. Well, Patrick was ahead of Panik, but loses him his second walk. And now it's 2 on and 1 out for Cueto.
A little more daunting in the opening day game against Madison Bumgarner to walk the 8-hitter to get to the pitcher, because we know Madison Bumgarner can swing the bat, had 2 home runs in that game. Not so much with Johnny Cueto. This is not his strong suit.
He will occasionally swing like he's blindfolded. Nunez at second and Panik at first. You can see the corners. Goldie. Why is Goldie kitty cornered like that? Sort of angled.
I think he's trying to see the runner out of the peripheral vision and then creep into a defensive position as the ball's delivered to home plate. You'll see the third baseman do the same thing, a mirror image on the other side of the infield. When Jake Lamb comes in, he'll angle his body so he can see the runner at second base, also see the pitcher, and then square up to home plate when the ball is delivered.
Goldie, by the time he's done sprinting in, is almost in the left-hand batter's box. Cueto chops it, and it rolls by Drury into right. They stop Nunez at third. The bases are loaded, and Cueto's back safely in time. He butcher boyed it down the right field line.
Stop it. Showed bunt and then pulled it back and just slaps the ball into play to the right side. We talked about Goldie and how aggressively he's charging, and that ball just bounces over his head. Drury just misses with a diving attempt. And David Peralta playing very shallow out there in right field for Johnny Cueto. Got to that ball so quickly they had to throw up the stop sign at third base.
Well, Cueto looks like he just ran around all the bases there. A little gassed. So here's Gorkys Hernandez, the leadoff man. Bases full, one out. Got to get Hernandez here because then you have the gauntlet behind him in Belt, Pence, and Posey. So this is a big batter in the inning. Nunez at third, Panic at second, and Cueto at first. Yes, he did. Jim Wolf at first. It's 1-1.
Tailing fastball away from Hernandez. Got that bat well out there in front of home plate.
Patrick had to work out of a 2-on, 2-out jam in the first. And now he's got bases loaded, one down. And already with one out in the second inning, pitch number 40 on the way. After a 17-pitch first. That's out of play. So make it 40 pitches so far for Patrick, 25 strikes. Gorkys Hernandez came into Sunday's opener midway through, went 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. His second season in San Francisco. He spent most of last year with the Giants AAA team in Sacramento. Hit just over 300 in the Coast League last season. Broken bat, bloop. Here comes Peralta. Drury can't get there either. Nunez scores. Panic right behind, and it's 2-0 Giants. He broke his bat and it dropped into no man's land.
Well, you could just tell by the sound that that ball wasn't hit hard enough to carry all the way out to David Peralta. Brandon Drury tried to come out from his second base position and make the play, and tip of the cap to Joe Panic there. Really good base running at second. He got a good read on that ball. He heard the same sound we did and realized it was going to drop in shallow right.
Well, you know, it's got to be frustrating for Patrick the way Cueto just kind of slapped that base hit by Drury with Goldie in at first, and then the broken bat bloop scores 2. So he's got to gather himself now. Still only one out, and he's got Brandon Belt coming up with Pence on deck. Belt grounded out into the shift his first time up. And once again, the D-backs have 3 infielders on the right-hand side.
Patrick definitely looking for that ground ball right now. Look for him to go more to the 2-seam sinker, inside and down, try to get Belt to roll over, or throw that slider down low and away, try to get him to roll over that pitch.
Johnny Cueto, the pitcher, the runner at second. Gorkys Hernandez at first. You got to throw Brandon Belt strikes. Runners in scoring position last year, hit over 290. Brandon Belt, not a guy you have to worry about platooning. He's hitting second tonight against the lefty Corbin. Belt last season more and more discipline at the plate, and that really helped him against left-hand pitching. Here's the strike, and it's 2-1. Belt last year hit nearly 280 versus lefties, including 6 home runs. And that's no small sample size, more than 200 plate appearances. Fastball by him, and it's 2-2. It's hard to know these days what a fastball count is anymore. I'm not sure one exists. Looked like he was looking for something else. Fastball away, missed, and it's a full count, 3-2.
Yeah, there were never any guarantees in the game of baseball, but for a long time, those counts 2-0, 3-1, most of the time 3-2. You could be pretty sure you were going to get a fastball. Might be a sinker, might be a cutter, might be a 4-seamer, but you were going to get the pitcher's number 1. That's not the case anymore.
Bounce to first. Goldie on the short hop. He'll settle for 1 out as the runners move up. Yeah, now 2-1, 3-1. You'll see change-ups, curveballs, sliders, anything.
And if a pitcher does happen to be predictable in a certain count, everybody in the world knows it now. I mean, it's on the stat sheets. The next day after a guy pitches, you can see every pitch he threw in every count, the location of it, the velocity of it. No secrets anymore.
Well, here's Pence, who just missed a home run his first time up. He doubled high off the wall in right field. And remember, he's hitting about .500 for his career against Patrick Corbin. Patrick gets ahead 0-1. Was it the same with the first pitch of at-bats? Used to be mostly fastballs? Or?
Mostly fastballs, but of course word got around that almost every hitter in the big leagues is a first ball fastball hitter, so pitchers got better at throwing first pitch breaking balls for strikes.
Shoots one toward the pool. David Peralta's got it. Peralta saved 2 runs right there. The freight train. Patrick Corbin had to work hard. He gets out of the second. Peralta makes sure it's still just a 2-0 deficit. What a catch.
Cueto, crazy guy with a chimichanga, whatever you call that. I like that.
A little bit of a different guy on the mound. He's got the weird windups. He's got the spins, the turns.
Different deliveries. He's got the quick pitch. He has the, the shimmy shake pitch. And
he's a tricky guy.
He's one of the smartest pitchers in baseball.
Well, Johnny Cueto last year, top 15 in the majors with just under 200 strikeouts. And he's a workhorse. Only 6 pitchers in baseball work more innings than Cueto last year. And he was the starting pitcher for the National League in the All-Star game. So he's about as good as they get.
And when you think about the best pitchers in the game, Johnny Cueto is not a name that usually jumps to the front of your mind. There's a lot of marquee names and guys that we're very familiar with, and deservedly so. But Johnny Cueto has been as good as anybody since the 2011 season.
Certainly against the Diamondbacks, you saw the numbers there. 13 career starts. Cueto 9-3. And he has pitched very well here in this ballpark. He was 3-0 at Chase Field last year. And he's ahead of Jake Lamb to lead off the bottom of the second. It's 0-2. Difficult day for Jake on Sunday. 4 at-bats, all against lefties. 3 strikeouts against Bumgarner. There's a quick pitch from Cueto. Then he got in there against Ty Blach and hit into a key double play in the 8th inning after the D-backs had tied it 4-4. But Jake has got a pretty good track record against Johnny Cueto. There it is. He's hit nearly 360, including a home run versus Cueto. And against this guy, that's about as good as you're going to find. Missed upstairs, and it's a full count, 3-2. Not sure what to make of that. The Lambs are in the house.
Plucked right off the Jake Lamb bobblehead doll.
Surprised Vanessa's not over there rubbing those. From 0-2 to 3-2, he's pulled a Goldie, and he fouls it back. This was last year, Jake Lamb v. Johnny Cueto. There it goes. Same uniform. He's got the teal on. Let's see if we can get the same result. That was a double hesitation move. You can't get further away from a quick pitch than what we just saw there.
Yeah, a couple of different times it looked like he was ready to turn and deliver the ball to home plate, but a couple of pump fakes. It looked like Jake's his rhythm was thrown off a little bit in the batter's box. He recognized an elevated fastball, but just a little bit tardy.
First strikeout for Cueto. Here's Yasmani Tomas. 31 homers last year. He knocked in 83. A high chopper to Crawford at shortstop. 2 down.
Second baseman,
Here's Brandon Drury. Brandon 1 for 4 on Sunday. A single in the 7th against Bumgarner. There's the quick pitch, and he fires a fastball in there. Jumps ahead 0-2. I don't think you get any bigger gap between deliveries than that final strike to Lamb and that pitch right there to Drury. But Brandon stays on it and rolls it into center. First hit for the D-backs.
Just see the ball. Don't get caught up in all his histrionics out there on the mound. That was actually a really good changeup down in the zone. Just kind of smothered it back up the middle of the field and found that hole.
Well, here's the author of the opening day walk-off winner. It's Chris Owings. His numbers last year, 277 and 5 homers. CO struck out in his first 3 at-bats against Bumgarner Sunday, but had key hits late in the ball game, singles in the 8th and 9th. Tied him up inside that time, and it's 0-1. It was the second career walk-off for Chris Owings. And boy, he did such a great job keeping his hands inside on that Mark Melancon pitch and just dropped it into right field to complete that remarkable comeback. 4 straight hits by the D-backs, all with 2 outs. And this was the hit that sent everybody home happy on Sunday.
It really was a good mid-swing adjustment. Mark Melanson, who usually cuts the ball away from right-handers, threw a four-seamer up and in, and Chris had to really pull his hands in and fight it off to the opposite field for the game winner.
He rolls it to second, but there's Panik again. He's done that a couple of times already in this series. We are through two. D-backs trail the Giants 2-0.
Giants lead it 2-0 as we head to the top half of the third inning. It's time to take a look back at baseball history, brought to you by Geico. In 1994 on this day, Tuffy Rhodes of the Chicago Cubs hit 3 home runs against Doc Gooden on opening day. Now Tuffy would finish the season with 8 home runs, but also on this day in baseball history in 07, Tuffy Rhodes got his 1,000th RBI.
That one caroms off Brandon Drury, and Buster Posey's aboard to lead off the third.
Well, Buster has to interrupt the story, take away Tuffy's thunder. Tuffy Rhodes went to Japan and was the first non-Japanese player to reach 1,000 RBIs in the Japanese big leagues.
I was going to say, didn't he go to Japan and hit 1 million home runs?
Yeah, he became a big-time home run hitter over there. But 3 solo bombs against Doc Gooden on opening day in 1994.
That's the great thing about baseball. You just need one day like that, and they'll never forget you.
Never.
Well, that was hit pretty hard, but right at Brandon Drury, who's still settling in at second base. So Posey aboard. Now here's Brandon Crawford. Patrick Corbin so far haven't seen too much of that changeup that he's worked on so hard and had a lot of success with this spring. It's been mostly fastballs and sliders from Patrick. He'd shown good progress with that changeup in spring training. Crawford drives one to left center, and it's high off the wall. That just missed a home run. Second and third, no outs for the Giants to start the third. That's already the second double this year for Crawford.
A couple of well-struck balls to start this third inning. Posey's smash right at Brandon Drury at second base, and then Brandon Crawford narrowly missing a home run to left center field. Well, they are not allowing him to get away with any pitches up in the zone right now. Everything that's up and out over the plate is getting squared up.
And here's Nunez, who already has 4 hits in the series. He singled and scored in the second. Another fastball is strike one.
But they're swinging at high pitches, go higher than high. That's what he did right there. I'm not sure it was by design on Nunez, but a fastball up and out over the plate, up and out of the strike zone, got the swing and a foul tip into the mid of Jeff Mathis.
Buster Posey at third, Brandon Crawford at second, nobody out. One upstairs again, 1-2.
He chased it once, see if he'll chase it again.
Patrick had a couple of cheapy hits in the second. Cueto slapped one down the first base line for a base hit. Hernandez had a broken bat bloop that scored 2. Then the Drury error to lead off the third. So luck's not been on his side so far. That one's in the dirt, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, it's easy to look at those couple of doinks that really hurt him in that inning, but you look back to the walk to Joe Panik in that 8 spot. Panik was really struggling against that Patrick Corbin slider, and he ended up losing him, and that really set the stage for all the bad things that happened the rest of the inning.
Yeah, after that, Cueto had the slap single. Hernandez bloop scored 2. That's over the head of Phil Nevin, former Reno Aces manager, now the Giants' third base coach. Joined Bruce Bochy's staff in the offseason. There's Nev. You coach a lot of third when you're managing in the minors, don't you?
Yeah, most managers at the minor league level are their own third base coach.
2-2 on Eduardo Nunez.
And many times you'll see a player coaching first base at the minor league level. A pitcher that maybe pitched the day before, or a bench player that doesn't get a lot of playing time. Good to see him upright. Luis Aguilar, he took a foul ball right between the eyes in a spring training game this year.
That was with the coaches sitting in those chairs right along the backstop, and it was from people that were there. They told me it was just absolutely horrifying.
He's already had 1 4-hour surgery to repair some of the damage that was done to the sinuses and his nose, and apparently he's got another surgery upcoming to go back in again. But it's just good to see him upright with a uniform on.
I was up in surprise. He had to be airlifted to a hospital. Up the middle, Drury. Oh, they're going to look everybody back. They got Posey hung up. Mathis will run right at him. 2 runners on third now. So they cut down the lead man, and Nunez sneaks into second.
Yeah, Giants going on contact right there. Posey must not have gotten a real good jump because he wasn't close to home plate when Brandon Drury finally fielded that ball and looked up.
So it's still second and third this time, though, with 1 out. And here's Chris Marrero, who struck out his first time up. Got caught looking at a fastball. Talking about first pitch fastballs, Marrero might have been sitting on one there. Way out in front of that one. Patrick has had to work hard in every inning so far in this ball game.
Boy, big out to get right here. If he can retire Marrero, it would give Torey Lovullo the option of perhaps walking Joe Panik and going after Cueto again with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Or if you've got enough confidence that Patrick Corbin can go after Joe Panik and execute good pitches, then you'd have Cueto leading off the 4th inning. But I think already trailing by 2 runs in the game, if he's able to retire Marrero here, I got to just take the bat out of Panik's hands and get Cueto up there to the plate.
Panik had a difficult year at the plate last season, but he's always done very well against lefties. Ahead of Marrero, 1-2. Lays off another one in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Got to be careful with this guy. 8 home runs in spring training. Panik on deck. Very high in the air for Peralta in right field. Crawford at third, and here he comes. The throw is cut off. The run is in. It's 3-0 Giants. Nunez to third.
Second baseman, Joe Panik.
Two down now, and here is Panik. Mike Butcher to the mound now. They'll talk this over. Now keep in mind, Panik went through all those concussion problems last year, so he only hit .239 for the season. Had blurred vision for most of the second half after he come back. But 2 years ago, he hit better than .290 against left-hand pitching, so he can handle himself up there against lefties, and he's got a non-hitting pitcher, Cueto, behind him on deck.
I know a lot of people immediately say, well, you walk the position player. This guy's a hitter. He's used to hitting. Righties, lefties makes no difference. Go after Johnny Cueto with 2 outs in the inning. But the other side of that coin is if you can retire Joe Panik right here, you have Johnny Cueto leading off the 4th, which is not a guarantee of a 1-out nobody on, but as close to it as you can get.
And I saw a number of times in baseball games all over the major leagues yesterday, the automatic 4 fingers. Yeah, just walk them. So that's clearly not what they're going to do here. There's strike 1 to Panik. But remember that rule change. You don't go through the whole process anymore. You just give him a free pass and send him on his way. Bounce to second. Drury's there. Giants add 1 more. They lead it 3-0.
Grab a bat, young man. You're going to pinch hit. Giants lead at 3-0 as we head to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Hey, fans, a D-backs home run tonight means a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow at participating Jack-in-a-Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
He's wearing his Fernando Rodney hat.
If he shoots an arrow, we're signing him.
You know, the talent is always problematic.
Yeah.
Jeff Mathis will lead off the D-backs 3rd against Johnny Cueto. Diamondbacks trail at 3-0. Boy, Mathis had a huge day Sunday. 3 hits. He was a home run shy of the cycle. He scored twice. And he's back there again tonight after the day off on Monday. And the thing about Mathis's game Sunday, they were all big hits. A triple in the 6th inning that broke up Bumgarner's perfect game. Single in the 7th. And then he got that huge 9th inning 2-out rally started when he laced a double to the gap in left center field. Cueto mixing it up. He's ahead 1-2. You know, that double that Mathis hit in the 9th inning to get that rally started, measured by StatCast, at better than 109 miles an hour off the bat. That's impressive considering Jeff's a career 198 hitter. And Cueto strikes him out. Second strikeout for Cueto. 1 down in the 3rd.
Yeah, that double you're talking about on Sunday looked like a 1-iron coming off the bat. It just barely cleared the shortstop and just whistled into that gap in left center.
There's Patrick Corbin. And we know that Patrick can handle himself with a bat up there. Did you watch the Gonzaga Carolina game last night?
Yes, I did.
Your thoughts?
Well, I'm starting to feel the same way about NCAA referees that I do about Major League umpires.
I knew you were going to go there. Yeah,
that was a tremendously paced, exciting, up and down and back and forth, and all of a sudden, every play there was a whistle.
Every 54 seconds when you average it out.
Wow.
Yeah, that was they decided just to take the game over there in the second half, unfortunately. 1-2 on Patrick Corbin. Great debate on the D-backs as to who's the better basketball player, Patrick Corbin or Taijuan Walker. And early exit polling is about split 50-50.
Yeah. Well, that's one that'll just be forever argued because I don't want to see the two of those guys playing hoops.
No.
As competitive as they are out there on the mound, I can only imagine what they would do on the hardwood.
Rather see him pitching. So we'll get a look at Taijuan Walker's D-backs debut tomorrow night. it up the middle. Crawford behind the bag. Low throw. Belt is there. 2 down. Hey fans, for in-depth coverage and analysis, tune into the D-backs live pregame show. It's brought to you by State Farm before every game. Todd Walsh, Jody Jackson, a cavalcade of stars, Brandon Webb, Mark Grace. For post-game highlights and interviews, stay tuned after every game for the D-backs live post-game show. That's presented by CenturyLink. 2 down for A.J. Pollock. I want to congratulate everyone involved with bringing the Final Four to the Valley once again. Once again, we were the center of the sports universe, and everybody that went there says they did an absolutely magnificent job. Big crowds. Everybody was buzzing. Great atmosphere. Quite an event.
No, it really was. I mean, some of the shots that they had down at court level looking across, and then at the stadium in the background, it was just awe-inspiring how big it was. A lot of the players were talking about that the first day they got to practice at the stadium, just how big the place was.
Well, I know Joan was rooting for Gonzaga.
Yeah.
How's she taking it?
She's taking it all right, you know. She doesn't love Gonzaga, but she was rooting for Gonzaga, figuring that North Carolina, they've had their share of thrills in the NCAA finals, but Gonzaga was looking for their first.
Cueto dropped that one in there. A.J. Pollock not too thrilled with Tim Timmons. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's a look.
Hasn't thrown a lot of sliders in this ball game, but dropped that one in there just below the strike zone, but got the call.
I saw Buster Posey snatch that glove up into the strike zone. So it's a 2-2 pitch. Diamondbacks so far with just 1 hit. Brandon Drury's 2-out single in the second. The 3-2 to A.J. Pollock. A.J. coming off his 3-hit game on Sunday, including that home run. It was such a contrast for A.J. today. 1 year later, he said, you know, at this time last year, he was talking about the details of his elbow surgery. That's all he had to discuss with everybody. And he admitted he did take a couple of moments Sunday just to really rehash his last year, what he's been through. Remember all the people that put so much work into getting him back where he's at today. It was a long road. And he just loves being out there, being able to contribute with this group of D-backs players that he's gotten to know over the years. And so that big game-tying home run Sunday, that was pretty special for him. Just does get a piece to stay alive. Pitch number 9 in the at-bat coming up. Base hit.
Good battling at bat that time by A.J. Johnny Cueto reached into his bag of tricks and threw a couple of pitches in that sequence that we hadn't seen thus far, but A.J. ultimately finds that hole on the left side.
A 9-pitch at bat is a 2-out single. And that brings up David Peralta's second hit for the Diamondbacks. Big cut by David. Didn't get the fastball, and it's 0-1.
That's a tremendous pitch. We were talking about first pitch fastball hitters and throwing fastballs on first pitch. If you have a guy at the plate that's a notorious first ball fastball hitter, that straight changeup is devastating. Because everything David's eyes tell his brain, that's a fastball. Delivery's the same, the arm action is the same, the arm speed is the same, but the velocity is about 10 miles an hour slower and a lot of fading action down and away from a left-handed hitter.
Carves this one the other way. It backs up Marrero. He's got room, though. And he's got it just shy of the wall out there. We're through 3. D-backs trail it 3-0. Back at Chase Field, D-backs trail the Giants 3-0. D-backs fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. It's presented by your Valley Honda dealers. Download the app and take Fox Sports Arizona and the Arizona Diamondbacks with you wherever you go. Johnny Cueto, the pitcher, leads off the Giant fourth against Patrick Corbin, who's down 3-0. Cueto sends this one deep to right center, but Pollock runs it down. 1 pitch, 1 out for Corbin in the fourth. Cueto bidding for his second base hit tonight.
Getting greedy.
Center fielder.
Patrick already at 70 pitches, 46 for strikes. Through 3 1/3. The leadoff man now, Gorkys Hernandez. Hernandez, a little broken bat bloop his last time up. He scored the first 2 runs. Giants added 1 more in the third on a Chris Marrero RBI sac fly. There's a strike. It's 0-1. Nice to see Patrick have a nice quick 1, 2, 3, 4th. Save some pitches. He's had to work hard the entire ball game.
And that was an issue pretty much all season long for the entire pitching staff, not just Patrick Corbin, but everybody that took the ball seemingly got that pitch count up there in a hurry, forcing last year Chip Hale to get into that bullpen a lot earlier than he would have liked.
And Patrick had a pair of 2-out base runners in the first. He was in a bases loaded mess in the second. Had traffic all around him in the third. He had second and third, nobody outs last inning. Nobody out. So looking for some quick outs in the fourth. No, we didn't, Jim Wolf.
Boy, as a catcher with 2 strikes on a batter, anytime that bat starts moving, you have to assume he swung at it because you're focused on the pitch and picking it out of the dirt as he did right there. So the first thing he did after he picked the ball out of the dirt was tag the batter. You don't know if he swung all the way or not. You're going to appeal down to first base, but tag him first and then ask for the appeal. Yeah, here was a couple of pitches ago, a check swing. Mathis picks it out of the dirt and then tags and now asks for an appeal for the first base umpire.
Well, he got ahead in the count on Hernandez, nibbled a couple of times, and now it's full 3-2. Couple of hops to Owings at shortstop. 2 outs. The home run porch. That's a great seat here in this ballpark. You and I did a game from out there last year. It was a lot of fun. That is one of the most unique seats in all of baseball here at Chase Field. You are literally hanging out over the field of play. And you've got that great table. You got some TV monitors out there. Those are tremendous seats. Brandon Belt, the shift is on. It's 0-1.
And we promise we'll clean up the peanut shells after those people leave tonight.
I think you and I are scheduled to go out there again later this year. Yeah. Uh-oh. That means extra work for Dennis Lamb, star of the Dennis Lamb Show. A lot of cables to run out there. With Dennis and his crew. These guys are outstanding.
Oh, they really are. We're so fortunate.
They're here very early every day, setting up microphones, cameras, all the miles and miles of cable, so we can bring you D-backs baseball. Belt knocks that into center, a 2-out single.
Right fielder Hunter Pence.
Well, might have hit that off the end of the bat a little bit. Didn't get much carry on that drive to center field. Just muscled it out there in front of A.J. Pollock for a 2-out base runner for the Giants.
Belt 1 for 3. Here's Pence, who just missed a home run in the first. He hit one high off the wall in right field, settled for a double. He's 1 for 2. Came inside with that fastball, as he so often does to right-hand hitters, but missed, and it's 1-1.
Now, this is something you used to see back in the day, back in the late 60s, early 70s, maybe the late 70s. Only one batting glove on the bottom hand. There are not very many players. They either go no batting gloves or 2 batting gloves. You rarely see a guy go to the plate with only 1 batting glove on.
And you're right, that used to be pretty common.
Yeah.
Very common.
Always bottom hand. Try to get a better grip.
Guys would just use golf gloves,
Yeah,
right?
I think the Hawk, Ken Harrelson, was one of the first guys. Depending on whose story you believe, he came straight from the golf course to the ballpark one day and had his golf glove in his back pocket and used it in the game that night.
He gone. Let me tell you, BB, that Jim Ed Rice, he could hit a golf ball. One and 2 on Hunter Pence. We play the White Sox this year. I
Yeah.
don't think we go there, but they come here.
Well, then
So
we'll see the Hawk.
because he
Yeah.
just does the road games.
Yeah, his home is over in Northwest Indiana, and it's a considerable haul for him to get from home to Comiskey every day, or U.S. Cellular Field, whatever it's called now. And
You know what it is? I was watching today. It's Guaranteed Rate Field.
oh, okay.
It's inspiring.
Yeah, the stadium where the White Sox play.
That's it.
Is quite a ways from Hawk's home, so he's doing road games only this year.
Oh, Pence rolls one into center. A pair of 2-out singles for the Giants, and once again Patrick Corbin has multiple base runners around him.
Catcher, Buster Posey.
Cue shot off the end of the bat into center field for the first base hit of this inning, and a 5-hopper up the middle of the field that nobody could get to, and suddenly the Giants have it cooking here with 2 outs in the inning and Buster Posey at the plate.
Pence now 2 for 3. Posey has walked and reached on an error by Brandon Drury, the second baseman. It'll be fun to see the Hawk. Maybe he'll wear one of his Nehru suits.
Yeah, you never know. White shoes and a white belt.
Of course, the greatest of all time. Yes. Every Hawk conversation always ended that way. Line to right to Jake Lamb at third. D-backs trail it 3-zip.
Welcome back. I'm Kate Longworth. D-backs trail 3-0 as we head to the bottom of the 4th on April 4th, as in 4-4, which can only mean one thing for the D-backs as they celebrated number 44 today with the unveiling of the Paul Goldschmidt Field in Goodyear. This was actually the 39th Diamondback Field dedicated to the community, but to have his name attached to it was very humbling for Goldie, who said he remembers playing in those parks and Little League fields as a kid. That's where so many of his dreams were born and lessons learned, and he's proud to have the future here in Arizona to have that same opportunity.
Yeah, that was a fun day. Amy was there, and a baby Jake who's getting big now.
Yeah, he's getting big.
A whole bunch of us were out there in Goodyear this morning. Very good crowd turned out. Goldie was there, of course. Derek Hall, Cullen Maxey, Deb Castaldo, Don Brandt from APS, and we were there dedicating Paul Goldschmidt Field. It's a gorgeous new baseball and softball field. And as Kate mentioned, the 39th field all over the state of Arizona that the Diamondbacks and the Arizona Diamondbacks Foundation, along with APS, has built as part of the Diamonds Back program. And so Paul Goldschmidt Field, just gorgeous. It's over at Falcon Park in Goodyear. Great spot right on West Indian School. They really did a nice job with it. Coming toward the Gubner. Oh, that just missed him. 50 pitches now for Cueto, 36 for strikes. 2-2 on Goldie.
Yeah, Goldie said it reminded him of when he was a youngster playing Little League ball. I bet he never played on a field like that.
Ooh. Growing up in the Houston area. Goldie gets into one. It's gone. Number 1 for Goldie. Diamondbacks on the board. His second career home run against Johnny Cueto and his first in 2017.
He really had to go down and get this one. It looked like a changeup that was fading down and in right into Paul's happy zone. That was a rocket out of here to left field.
That's a Jumbo Jack, a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow with a purchase of a large drink from our friends at Jack in the Box. Here's Jake Lamb. Boy, you mentioned Goldie's Little League field, and he tees one up for you. That's good producing. So Goldie, with that hit, has now tied Steve Finley for second place on the Diamondbacks all-time hit list. High fastball, swing and a miss. Going over the Cueto scouting report with A.J. Pollock. Cueto drops one in there on Lamb, and it's 2-2. Jake struck out his first time up.
That's always the case. A check swing foul ball 99.9% of the time will hit the catcher or the umpire. Buster got that one in the left rib cage. He's checking. Am I missing a piece of my chest protector? How did that get me in the ribs? And Tim Timmons, as a professional courtesy, asking for a new set of baseballs and giving Buster a second to regroup back there behind the plate.
And just think, only 160 more to go. 2-2.
Merit badges. Catchers wear those bruises proudly.
Good take by Lamb. He's worked it full 3-2. Now remember, the first at bat for Jake against Cueto, he had a 3-2 count as well, and Cueto did that long extended hesitation move and got him on a fastball. Let's see what he comes up with right here.
Fastball away.
Quick pitched him, missed inside. Lamb works the walk. Well, he tried a completely different approach with that 3-2 pitch than he did in the first at bat.
Yeah, we talk about that rhythm that Cueto has out there on the mound, or a lack of rhythm, and how it affects a hitter, but it also affects his own catcher behind the plate. Buster Posey has no idea which delivery Cueto's going to send his way. So you better be ready as soon as you give that sign.
Yeah, Yasmani Tomas, his first time up, grounded out on the first pitch he saw. A run is in, nobody out, Lamb at first. Tomas does have a home run off of Cueto on his resume. Fastball missed in, 1-0. Yasmani hitless opening day, 0 for 4. He punched out 3 times. Cueto now at 60 pitches, 41 strikes. Tomas drives one deep to center. Hernandez backs up, and he's got it on the track. Jake Lamb scampers back to first.
Wrong part of the ballpark. Hit that ball really well, chasing Hernandez all the way back to the track in straightaway center field.
Brandon Drury went down and got a changeup from Cueto, his first time up, for a single up the middle. Boy, I really like these teal uniforms.
Yeah, these are my favorite of the new uniforms.
Even when they're all dirty like that, they look good.
That's when they look the best.
You know, I noticed in watching all the baseball yesterday, opening day all over the major leagues for other teams, that these matte helmets that I believe the Diamondbacks were the first to come up with, these are now everywhere. Every team is going to that matte look with the helmet. Matte finish, whatever you want to call it.
Right, and this uni lends itself to the white shoes that Brandon Drury is wearing.
With just a hint of teal. Remember those ones that Ricky Weeks had last year?
Oh, yeah.
Those all teal high top ones. There's a little teal on the sole. Another base hit up the middle for Drury. Brandon Drury 2 for 2. Diamondbacks have something going in the fourth.
That's really good to see for Brandon Drury. A couple of off-speed pitches for base hits in this game. The changeup up the middle, his first at bat. This time it appeared to be a slider that just kind of fluttered out there over the outside part of the plate, and he bangs that one right back up the middle of the field.
Dave Righetti out to the mound to talk things over with Cueto. They've got the pitcher spot due up fairly soon, so there is action in the Diamondback bullpen as Randall Delgado starts warming up. You've got Owings up, Mathis the catcher behind him, then the pitcher spot in Corbin.
And this is another byproduct of a high pitch count early in the game. If Patrick Corbin's pitch count was well within reason, you might not even consider pinch hitting for his spot if it comes up in this inning. But because his pitch count is so high, it really lends itself easily to pinch hit in this spot.
And remember, you do have Archie Bradley back there in the Diamondback bullpen, and he's able to give Torey Lovullo some length if they need it. Here's CO, grounded out his first time up.
Yeah, we talked a lot about first pitch fastballs in this game. 9 of the first 10 batters in this game got a first pitch fastball. It might not have been a strike, but 9 of the first 10 batters first pitch fastball.
For both teams?
No, just for Cueto.
Oh, just for Cueto.
Yeah. Only one of the last 5 hitters has gotten a first pitch fastball. He's mixed in some sliders. He's mixed in some straight changeups.
Another base hit. Owings knocks it into left. Tony Perez-Chica will wave Lamb. The throw's cut off. It's a one-run ball game. Chris Owings makes it 3-2.
And this is a byproduct of some good advanced scouting on Chris Marrero in left field. Tony Perez-Chica was windmilling Jake Lamb the entire time. That was a hard hit ball to shallow left field, and he did not hesitate to send Jake Lamb because they knew Chris Marrero doesn't have a strong throwing arm. Lamb able to score easily.
Well, now Mathis steps in. Daniel Descalso is in the on-deck circle. He apparently, let's see, at least for the moment, will hit for Corbin. If the inning should continue, Mathis struck out his first time up. 3-2 ball game. 2 runs are in. Brandon Drury is the runner at second. Chris Owings at first. Diamondbacks did very little with Johnny Cueto the first time through the order. but the second time, whole different story. 4 hits and a walk, including the Goldie homer. That's foul behind Dave McCann. It's 0-2. Descalso would hit for Corbin. Nothing doing in the Giant bullpen as of yet. One and two.
After the multiple implosions by the Giants bullpen last year, I imagine the bullpen phone has an unlisted number this year.
Nice. I like that. Don't answer.
You've reached the Giants bullpen. We can't get to the phone right now.
Your call is very important to us.
Leave your name and number. We'll get back to you just as soon as we can.
It's like they opened to the Rockford Files. Mark Melancon, the $62 million closer, had a bumpy ride on opening day, but now there's some signs of life down there. Oh, he really tied up Mathis that time, and he gets the strikeout.
Yeah, we heard Gracie talking with Dave Maggott and the Diamondbacks hitting coach about the issues facing Johnny Cueto, and that's one of them. He'll throw a sinking fastball inside, then he'll throw a cut fastball in the same location. They look the same coming out of his hand, but they have exactly the opposite movement. One moves away, one moves in, and that time Jeff Mathis got caught with a sinker running right in on his hands.
One of the heroes from Sunday, Daniel Descalso. Pinch hitting for Patrick Corbin. 2 on and 2 outs in the 4th. Descalso in his first at bat as a Diamondback delivered the pinch hit RBI single that tied Sunday's game in the 9th inning. One of 4 consecutive D-backs hits, all with 2 outs in that comeback against Melancon. Brandon Belt at first. Diamondbacks strand 2, but they get 2, and they're back in it. It's a 1-run ball game at Chase.
Now pitching, number 48.
Diamondbacks have closed within 1. They trail the Giants 3-2 as we start the 5th inning. And fans, don't miss the Jake Lamb bobblehead. Oh, boy. Yeah, I just read them. That's coming up Saturday before the Diamondbacks and Indians game, courtesy of Arizona Sports 98.7 FM. Get your tickets at dbacks.com. The lovely Vanessa is here with said bobblehead. Yeah. Now you can see why it's the bobblehead. There's an actual lamb on that. Uh-oh, your mic's not on.
Brandon Crawford.
Hello.
There you go.
Okay.
Very professional.
Now you can hear
See,
me.
she didn't even get rattled. It never is.
Right. What I was saying was I have the fuzzy lamb all to myself.
Hello.
Mike isn't here this evening.
The lovely Mike is not with us. Well, he's
No.
got to get up early.
So do
So
I.
do you. Hello.
But we're taking turns. He'll be here tomorrow. So this is my first game solo without him.
How you
Of the
doing?
season.
How are you holding up?
I think I'm okay.
All right.
All right.
And you're also holding up the Jake Lamb
Yes.
bobblehead that we'll hand out to fans on Saturday's game against the Indians.
So
Now
there's
that
only-
commemorates the great marketing moment where Jake was walking around with the lamb trying to get voted onto the All-Star team. BB has the box now. And he's holding it up. We'll get to that. Randall Delgado, the new pitcher, as Brandon Crawford leads off the 5th. This is the moment that the bobblehead recreates. There it is. Nice
that was
job,
a real
BB.
lamb in the clubhouse on the field before the ball game.
And this feels like a real lamb.
Yes. It's
I know,
fuzzy.
you have a thing.
I know.
You really
just
do have
love
a-
it. Feel it. You're going to love it. Come on.
Oh, Brandon Crawford.
Go foul.
It's gone. A home run for Brandon Crawford. His second hit tonight. And it's 4-2 Giants.
Jake's lamb, that is.
I'm over Klimt.
Boy, I That's a no doubter. Another pitch up above the top of the strike zone. Most left-handed hitters are dead low ball hitters, but Brandon Crawford just likes the ball airborne.
I was hoping that would just curl around the foul pole, but it's gone. First of the year for Crawford, and here's Eduardo Nunez. So that's coming up.
Yes.
On Saturday before the game against the Indians, courtesy of Arizona Sports 98.7 FM. The Jake Lamb bobblehead, the first D-backs bobblehead of the year.
And remember, there's only 20,000. I say only, but
you know, you're
people
really
are going to
good at
wait
this
in
stuff.
line.
You have all the details.
Yes.
Our Ash line calls the bullpen. The numbers on Delgado. Look at Chris Owings. The throw, however, pulls Goldie off the bag, and Nunez is on base again with his 5th hit of the series already. Our thanks to the lovely Vanessa.
Nice defensive play by CO, going way up the middle of the field that time. Spins his back all the way around to his target. Unfortunately, that throw tails away from Goldie and gives Nunez just enough room to slide in feet first at first base.
You know, you talk about Chris Owings just as a shortstop now defensively, and I don't recall a ball that he didn't get to. Well, we know what Nick Ahmed does out there. Nick is unbelievable. But, you know, CO's not too far behind him, I think, defensively. He gets to just about everything. There's Nick.
If you had to handicap the two of them, I would give Nick a better score on balls in front of him, coming in. Slow choppers and those ones where Nick gets them in and out of his glove so quickly that he gets outs on balls that he probably shouldn't get outs on. But other than that, they both cover a tremendous amount of ground. They both have strong throwing arms. I think the shortstop position is in good hands.
Yeah, don't forget, you've got in the minor leagues Ketel Marte, acquired from Seattle, who looked good this spring, and boy, Ildemaro Vargas, the former independent league player, really looked good this spring as well. 0-1 on Chris Marrero. Marrero knocked in a run his last time up with a sacrifice fly. He's 0 for 1. So far a homer and a single against Randall Delgado. And he'll have to keep an eye on Nunez, already with 2 stolen bases over there at first. Fastball missed away, and it's 1-1 on Marrero. Now that Randall Delgado is strictly a relief pitcher, remember when we first got him, he was a starting pitcher in the Justin Upton trade with the Atlanta Braves. But now that he's a reliever, he can really just worry about fastball changeup. Doesn't have to worry about finding that third pitch, the breaking ball. You know, he's had a slider that he's thrown the last couple of years, but his changeup, the Diamondbacks think, is so good. And if you're going to pitch 1 inning, you know, throw that mid-90s fastball, throw your really, really good changeup, and really that's all you need, right?
Well, you know, it's not always nice to have a third pitch, whether you're a starter or a reliever, but if your third pitch ends up getting you in a lot of trouble and giving up a lot of hard hit balls on that third pitch, you're better off going with the 2 that you're good at.
And the combination, it seems, works so well for Randall because his changeup is very good. And he can throw at 95, 96. So he's got some heat. Nunez holds it first. Marrero yanks it foul right in front of Phil Nevin. And a great play by our Golden Glover down there. A less than great play by Skip. Don't call me Mitch Miller. There's Skip, one of our Golden Glover rookies this year.
Don't call me Mitch. Just about took one in the grill right there. That ball took a nasty carom off the sidewall and just gets over his glove.
That's Skip. Don't call me Mitch Miller. Our Golden Glover down the left field line. Working right field tonight. Yeah. Rodney, the Lizard King Morrison.
I like it.
Called strike 3. Delgado went away from the fastball that time and rings up Marrero.
Yeah, sometimes in an extended at bat, talking about being a 2-pitch pitcher, Yeah, sometimes if a guy's up there and you've thrown your fastball, you've thrown your changeup, and you feel like you need to give him another look, that's when you can reach in your back pocket and try that slider. That time he dropped it right on the outside corner.
Joe Panik has walked and grounded out. 0 for 1. D-backs have been out hit 9-5. They trail at 4-2 here in the 5th. Up the middle, it's by Drury and into right center. Nunez with good speed heads for third. Third hit in the inning against Randall Delgado.
Once again, just out of the reach of Brandon Drury. Hard ground ball back up the middle of the field. I was hoping Brandon would get there with a dive and we'd see one of those glove-to-glove flips for the force out at second base, but it just snuck through into center field, putting Giants on the corners for the pitcher, Johnny Cueto.
With one out, Cueto slapped a single down the first base line with Goldie playing in, guarding against the bunt his first time up. And then knocked one into right center field in his last at bat that A.J. Pollock ran down, but it was pretty well hit by Cueto. So here he is with Nunez at third, Panik at first, and one out. This is on the ground off the glove of Owings. Nunez scores to make it 5-2. We're just talking about what ball does Chris Owings not get to. Sort of whiffed on that one.
Yeah, I think he was going to start the double play before he had the ball. Easy double play leading him right to the bag. Just never had the ball in his glove.
And an E6 goes up on the board. Second error by the Diamondbacks, the other on Brandon Drury on a ball hit right to him in the third inning. So a bit of a rough night for the middle infield. Nunez has singled twice and scored twice. Boy, he has been a nuisance. Eduardo Nunez already with 5 hits in the series. And here's the leadoff man, Gorkys Hernandez. And he knocks it toward the left field corner. This will deliver Panik. Cueto behind him. Phil Nevin will wave Cueto home. Here's the throw. It's cut off. And the Giants have a 7-2 lead.
I think that will appeal at home plate on Johnny Cueto. I'm not so sure he touched the plate. His foot came down a little bit short. I'm not sure if his toe quite got to the plate or not, and he hesitated and looked like he wanted to go back to home plate.
First baseman, Brandon Belt.
Well, let's see. Brandon Belt is the hitter as he steps in. You can see Jerry Narron on the phone with Alan Campbell.
Oh, man, maybe a toe on the corner of the plate right there.
Here comes Mike Butcher to the mound. Boy, you can see Tim Timmons is right there.
And Cueto started to break it down quickly. He was going to stop and go back to home plate, but then thought better of it and just ran on into that first base dugout and hoped nobody saw it.
Torey Lovullo. Things have gotten away from the Diamondbacks. The Giants have scored 4 here in the 5th after the D-backs pulled within 1. He's asking the third base umpire, Greg Gibson, who's the crew chief, if he can challenge that.
Can I come out there?
I told him we're probably
okay, we're going to
I think they are going to challenge.
Appeal home plate.
Now here's one interesting thing. They're not going to let them because it's past 30 seconds. That's the new rule.
Oh, they're going, first of all, they're going to go through the, Randall's going to step off, becoming a position player, and then no, he's not. Oh man, I thought they were going to appeal at home plate. I think that's what Torey Lovullo wanted.
He said, can I come out there? He clearly wanted to challenge and take a look at that play. But remember, fans, the new rule, there is now a 30-second limit for the manager to decide whether he'll challenge a play and invoke replay review. And it looks like the time had passed.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything section B in that rule about a pitching visit by the pitching coach extending that time.
And now Brandon Belt drives one deep over Tomas's head. This will score Hernandez, and the inning has turned ugly against Randall Delgado.
Pitch down and out over the plate. Brandon Belt, short, quick swing, generates a lot of power, bangs it off the base of the fence where Tomas has some issues with it. Yeah, getting back to that play at the plate there. Once the ball is put back into play and Randall standing on the mound getting his sign, if you step off the rubber and inform the umpires you want to appeal that Johnny Cueto missed home plate, you throw the ball to Jeff Mathis, he steps on the plate, and if he did miss it and the umpire saw it, they can call him out. I thought that's what Torey was ultimately asking for after his conversation with Greg Gibson, but Randall delivered a pitch to home plate, and that went by the boards.
That would be an interesting case in which you can get around the 30-second rule because of the type of play it was. But it looks like that window closed. Hunter Pence now. It's turned into a 5-run Giant fifth. They now have 12 hits. Five of those hits coming in this inning against Delgado.
And remember, the Chris Owings error would have gotten him out of this inning had he been able to field it cleanly.
That was on the ball that Cueto hit. Well, he strikes out Pence for the second out. And now the 9th man to bat in this inning for the Giants is Buster Posey.
It's that sliders. Third pitch, if you will, started on the outer third of the plate, broke it off the outside corner to get the swing and a miss. Now, sometimes when a team comes up there and swings the bat and makes as much solid contact as the Giants have in this inning, you look for a plan B.
Posey has walked, reached on an error, and lined out to third. That one missed, and it's 1-0. We'll have an update from around the major leagues with Jody Jackson right after the end of this half inning. Jody is standing by. Boy, the Padres, who just got destroyed on opening day at Dodger Stadium, are leading LA right now 3-0. They're in the 5th inning. Clayton Richard on the mound for San Diego against Kenta Maeda. One and two. Brandon Crawford already with a double and a home run. The homer coming in this inning is on deck. 2-2 on Posey, 2 outs, and Belt at second.
Been a rough go for Randall Delgado here in this top half of the 5th inning. Archie Bradley up throwing in the Diamondbacks bullpen now. He's already thrown 26 pitches here in the 5th inning. And if you have any hopes of using him perhaps tomorrow or the next day, that pitch count is getting into the danger zone.
Yeah, the off day yesterday was nice, but now the grind really begins. 2 more against the Giants Wednesday and Thursday. Then the defending American League champs come in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The Cleveland Indians. They're in Texas right now. Taijuan Walker gets the ball tomorrow night. And the Giants have batted around in the 5th. Torey Lovullo's seen enough. A very rough inning here for Randall Delgado. Diamondbacks trail at 8-2. Back after this. Torey going over some procedural issues with Tim Timmons, the home plate umpire, after there was some confusion as to whether he could indeed challenge that play at the plate, but it's gone by the boards. Our ash line called the bullpen. And here out of the bullpen is former starter Archie Bradley trying to finish off this Giant 5th.
Just need to get your team back in the dugout as quickly as possible. Obviously, the offense has a big mountain to climb here the rest of the ball game with Johnny Cueto still in the game. But if you can find a way to run up that pitch count on Cueto and get him out of there, you never know what will happen with that Giants bullpen.
Well, Archie Bradley in spring training said, just put me on this team. He was comfortable at any role, any capacity. Very enthused with the way he's been throwing the baseball all year long and the way the ball's been coming out of his hands. So he was more than happy to begin the season in the bullpen. And the Giants in this inning have batted around. Crawford led off the 5th with a home run, his first of the year. .96 from Archie Bradley. That fastball has been zipping along this spring. Brandon Belt, the runner at second. Buster Posey at first. This was Crawford to lead off this inning against Randall Delgado.
Yeah, sometimes they call solo home runs a rally killer. Nobody on base. The pitcher still pitching out of the windup, but in this case it really lit a fire under the Giants offense in this 5th inning.
5 hits, a walk, and a Diamondback error in this inning have led to 5 San Francisco runs. And the Giants still have 2 on and 2 out. 1-2 now on Crawford. But you're right, BB. That ball that CO whiffed on, that would have ended most of this early. The ball that Cueto hit after the home run by Crawford would have kept it to a 1-run inning. Instead, they've scored 5. Goldie has it, and that's it. The Giants bat around. They send 10 to the plate, 5 score. They lead it 8-2. And now we go to Jody Jackson for the Unlimited Baseball break. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. Jody.
All right, thanks a lot, Steve. Obviously, that inning for the Arizona Diamondbacks not a good one as the Giants score 5. Our T-Mobile Unlimited Baseball break, and one. Diamondbacks winning this one on opening day, but the Giants coming out here now, and the score 8-2. Patrick Corbin went 4 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, and Johnny Cueto right now still in this game. Gorkys Hernandez 2 for 4 with a double, 4 runs batted in. Paul Goldschmidt has a homer. Brandon Crawford a home run for the Giants. Jody Jackson with you here, and of course the season just getting started, but the stars shining brightly throughout Major League Baseball, and really a number of guys that are elite getting off to a great start. Right now, it's our big story, brought to you by T-Mobile. And nobody hits opening day home runs like Bryce Harper. He did it in the nation's capital. His 5th opening day homer, and he's not even 25 years old. We go to the American League, where last year's AL MVP Mike Trout hit this laser against the A's. And then, if you want defense, how about Manny Machado, the diving stop and the fantastic throw, that against the Toronto Blue Jays. Another look at it, and some of the game's great young talent on display on opening day. Other opening day certainties brought to you here on our Unlimited Baseball break by T-Mobile. And Clayton Kershaw, well, Harper hits home runs on opening day. Clayton Kershaw gets wins. He's improved to 5-0 with a .99 ERA on opening days with a win over San Diego. Dallas Keuchel looks like he is back. The 2015 Cy Young Award winner had a rough year last year, but he shuts out the Mariners. And then Mark Trumbo hit 47 home runs last year, and then he did it again, picking up where he left off with a walk-off homer in the 11th inning against the Jays. So a look around the league at what was a fantastic opening day. It was for the Diamondbacks as well, Steve, no question about that. But right now, in a hole against the Giants.
You're right, Jody. Thanks very much. Down 8-2 as A.J. Pollock leads off the bottom of the 5th against Johnny Cueto. A.J. has grounded out and singled 1 for 2 tonight. Diamondbacks have been out hit 12-5. They got 2 runs in the 4th to make it a 3-2 ball game, but then that 5th inning got ugly quickly. And it's an 8-2 score as A.J. takes strike 1. See, the Rockies won again. They're 6-5 winners at Milwaukee. Greg Holland, their new closer, picked up his 2nd save in as many games. The former Kansas City Royals relief ace.
Boy, really seen Cueto flip the script here. Second and third time through the lineup for the Diamondbacks. A lot of breaking balls. Early in the game, he was pounding that fastball on both sides of the plate, sinking it and cutting it.
A.J. sends one down the left field line, but it hooks foul. A.J. almost got his 2nd home run in as many games right there. That big homer off Bumgarner on Sunday that tied it in the 6th. Drives this one to Pence in right field. Well, David Peralta still looking for that first hit. 0 for 4 Sunday. 0 for 2 so far tonight. Only 3 career at bats against Cueto coming into the ball game. David put in a lot of work this spring. He had 59 at bats. That was 2nd most on the team. And after a slow start in the Cactus League, he finished up strong, hit better than .320 this spring with 3 home runs. Yanks one, foul. Oh, there's the Lizard King. Oops. That's Rodney the Lizard King Morrison, our Golden Glover, down the right field line.
Oh, just under the glove. Tough angle there.
We've got a number of Golden Glover rookies this year.
Yeah.
And Doc is back as well. Good to see Doc back with the group after a year off.
Contract dispute.
Well, you know, Doc does not come cheap. 4th strikeout for Cueto.
I mentioned it just a moment ago. Johnny Cueto really attacking the Diamondbacks offense differently here in this 5th inning than he did through the first 4. A lot of fastballs, mixed in some changeups, mixed in a couple of sliders, but really relying on his off-speed pitches.
Goldie homered to lead off the 4th. He's 1 for 2. It's our Chaz Roberts air conditioning and plumbing cool play of the game. This is career hit number 847 for Goldie. 847 ties him with Steve Finley for 2nd most in D-backs history. Behind only Luis Gonzalez. Gondo is the all-time record holder, 1,337. But Goldie now even with Steve Finley for 2nd all-time. Fastball just missed. It's 1-2. Goldie's homer in the 4th is 2nd career home run against Johnny Cueto.
Yeah, those lists can be kind of unusual from time to time when you think about a guy's longevity. Luis Gonzalez played here for a lot of years, put up a lot of hits. Goldie, if he stays as long as Gonzo did, I'm sure he'll get up there. But there's one that really jumps out.
This is headed toward the right field foul pole, and it's in the bullpen out of play.
Our
Which is
crack
that?
staff was really busy. The most managerial wins in Giants franchise history.
John McGraw.
John McGraw, 2,583 wins. 2nd place on the list, Bruce Bochy with 783. Well, John McGraw, 31 years as a Giants manager. Bruce Bochy, 23 years in the big leagues. Now, if you add in his Padres wins, it gets up over 1,700, but still a long way to go to catch John McGraw for Giants managerial wins.
Well, he had Christy Mathewson. Bruce Bochy has Madison Bumgarner.
Yeah. Of course, Christy Mathewson pitched every 3rd day and pitched out of the bullpen in between.
And threw 160 pitches when he was out there every time. 2-2 to Goldie. Well, Bochy hasn't needed Fred Merkle. He's got 3 World Series rings.
Yeah.
John McGraw once refused to play a World Series. Didn't want to play the American League because he was mad at Van Johnson.
Really?
So he said, nope, we're not playing. The 3-2. You know, there is a thought about that play at the plate as to whether Cueto touched home. And, you know, you can look at it this way. If it's too late for a challenge, it may also be too late for an appeal. I don't know, not necessarily sure if that's true. Can you, I mean, you can hold up the game to review. Can you hold up the game to appeal? Jake Lamb gets into one. It's headed toward the pool. And it's in the pool. A splash down for Lamb. Well, Jake has had a lot of success against Cueto. He'd hit nearly 360 versus Cueto. Coming into tonight, including a home run. And now it's 8-4.
Pitcher's out away from him, got great extension through the ball. Tremendous carry to right center field. Hunter Pence thought he might have a play on that ball, but splashed down into the ramptrucks.com pool.
The first hit this season for Jake Lamb is in the pool. And that is a jumbo jack. Yasmani Tomas. Tomas has grounded out fly to a jumbo jack.
What a night for Jake Lamb. He did strike out in his first at bat, but he saw 7 pitches from Johnny Cueto. His second at bat in the ball game, he drew an 8-pitch walk, and third time up, he ambushed him. Swung at the first pitch he saw and hit it out of the ballpark.
Well, Tomas strikes out, but the Diamondbacks get 2 back on the Lamb homer. They trail the Giants 8-4. Couple of Diamondback home runs. A solo shot by Goldie to lead off the 4th. A 2-run homer by Jake Lamb in the 5th. That made it an 8-4 ball game. Hey fans, Pepsi, the official soft drink of your Arizona Diamondbacks. Stop by your local Fry's and stock up on some Pepsi today. And the Diamondbacks now will look for some length out of Archie Bradley, who had to come on to close out the 5th inning when the Giants sent 10 men to the plate and 5 of them scored. And Eduardo Nunez leads off the 6th. And this is the benefit of having Archie Bradley back there. He can give you some length, and they may need it tonight. Because the Diamondbacks have shown some signs of life against Johnny Cueto. They got 2 in the 4th and 2 in the 5th. And we know about that Giant bullpen. So this one's not over yet. Archie wants an appeal. Jim Wolf says no.
Well, the home plate umpire called it a strike,
Yes,
however.
he did.
Tim Timmons said he swung, yeah.
So they finally figure out a way to retire Nunez, and you can see Timmons yelling into the Giant dugout, I call that one.
Yeah, Timmons didn't ask for an appeal down to Jim Wolf at first base. He made the call himself at home plate. And I think he might have missed one.
Well, it's the first strikeout of the year for Archie Bradley. And here's Chris Marrero, who has twice tonight struck out looking. He's also knocked in a run with a sacrifice fly. .97 in on the hands from Archie Bradley. And that's the way Archie has been throwing the ball all spring long. He's had some zip on that fastball. It might be the beard. Marrero hits one high in the air but foul. All right, Torey Lovullo, when he announced his rotation, it did not include Archie, but he made the club as a reliever. And Torey was saying, look, he made the team because the coaches and staff believe he's one of the best pieces they can fit into the bullpen, period. And he looks very good here in the 6th.
You know, and we've talked over the last couple of years about how bullpens are constantly evolving. You never finish the year with the same guys you start with. A lot of times roles are reversed during the course of the season. And in that respect, Archie Bradley is a little bit in spring training mode. He's still trying to impress. He's still trying to move up that totem pole and possibly be an 8th inning guy or a 7th inning guy late in the game. Now, because he has been a starting pitcher, right now he can give you great length out of the bullpen if necessary. But if he shows he can come in and put zeros on the board and miss some bats, he might move a little bit deeper into the ball game in that bullpen.
Well, Archie, as a starting pitcher, has been working on a full repertoire. I mean, the changeup has been a constant work in progress. He's also picked up a cutter, sort of a cutter slash slider, to try and get 4 pitches. But, you know, a lot like we talked about with Randall Delgado. I mean, a lot of people have thought Archie, you know, he's got the fastball, mid-90s fastball. He's got that knuckle curveball. And just go out there with those 2 pitches and be a reliever and, you know, throw mid to upper 90s and get guys out with 2 pitches.
Yeah, command 2 pitches and throw strikes.
Just like that. 95 right on the black for a strike. And if he can come in and dominate like this for 1 inning, so be it. But at the age of just 24, it's a little too young to give up on Archie as a starting pitcher, certainly. And right now he can give you some length and some innings in the bullpen. Full count on Joe Panik, 3-2. He gets into one, hard to right. It's over Peralta's head and off the base of the wall out there. Panik, who's got a walk and a single tonight, is in with a double. Well, that one was smoked.
Yeah, 3-2 fastball, center cut, even though it was 97 miles an hour. Panik had seen 99 in that at bat, so he was ready for it and barrels it up to right field for a 2-out double.
And now Cueto's spot comes up, but Jarrett Parker will hit for the pitcher. Parker got the start on opening day in left field Sunday. And went 0 for 2. Grounded out, struck out.
I think we just had a balk call.
And Panik will move to third.
Well, you see Mike Butcher telling his catcher Jeff Mathis to go out and talk to him. Stall for a little bit of time.
Diamondbacks do have the shift on for the left-hand hitting Parker. No one throwing the D-backs bullpen.
Yeah, I think this is just a settle him down meeting right here. Archie is a very high-strung guy, no question about it. Got a runner over there at third base with 2 outs in the inning. Now's when you need your best focus. You need to make your best pitches.
Well, that fastball has got some zip on it tonight. The numbers on Jarrett Parker last year. Well, we've talked about how Parker, 98 that time from Archie, is often prone to the strikeout. He's got a lot of swing and miss in his game. And Archie's ahead 0-2. The old number 1. Right on the corner at 98. 3 strikeouts in the inning. Archie Bradley with some impressive velocity. It's 8-4 in the 6th.
Giants doubling up the D-backs 8-4 as we head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Hey fans, we invite you to participate in Gila River game nights by signing up at one of the interactive kiosks located at Chase Field during any Diamondbacks home game.
Jarrett Parker remains in the game. He takes over in left field for Chris Marrero. He'll bat 9th, pitcher spot now 7th in the Giants order. And the new pitcher for San Francisco, the right-hander Corey Guerin. Here's Parker in left in place of Marrero. Guerin on the mound. 56 appearances with the Giants last year. A 3-2 record, a 4.28 ERA. He did not have a great spring, Corey Guerin. Gave up 7 earned runs and 9 2/3 in the Cactus League this spring. Brandon Drury 2 for 2 with a pair of singles. Leads off the bottom of the 6th. Brandon Drury 3 for 3. All 3 right up the box. Leadoff man aboard.
It'll be interesting to see moving forward if the Giants cheat their second baseman up the middle of the field a little bit more. When Brandon Drury comes to the plate, you get 3 straight knocks up the middle. You might want to move a defender over there.
And think about what I'm sure Giants fans and Bruce Bochy is thinking right now. Okay, we're into that bullpen, that soft underbelly, if you will, and right away the leadoff man's aboard. This is the Achilles heel of the Giants. So we'll see if the Diamondback can take advantage as Chris Owing steps up. CO and RBI single his last time up. 13 hits for the Giants, 7 for the Diamondbacks. D-backs tonight trying to start 2-0 for the first time since 2012, but they're down 4 in the 6th. And a good start, so important. We all felt that positive energy after the opening day win. But it's not going to be easy. The Diamondbacks play their first 14 games and 17 of their first 20 against teams that were in the postseason last year. So it's a tough start. Owens shoots it to center. Hernandez makes a nice running grab.
Corey Guerin, we saw a lot of him last season, and he was a guy that the Diamondbacks really took advantage of on the bases. Yeah. He kind of wobbles around out there on the rubber sometimes. He has a tell when he's going to home plate that Dave McKay alerted the team to, and anybody that could run at all last year was stealing bases against Corey Guerin. He looks like he's tightened it up just a little bit.
The catcher, Jeff Mathis. High in the air for Panic at second. Now here's the thing, if you want length out of Archie Bradley in that bullpen, you're going to have to let him hit. So here he comes.
And it would be a totally different story if there was a runner or two in scoring position. I'm sure you'd see a pinch hitter in that situation, but with just the one runner on at first base and 2 outs in the inning, Archie's going to take the at bat and then go back out to the mound.
But he's an athlete. So we'll see if Archie can slap one through with 2 outs and Drury at first. Yeah, Guerin always has that set when he's pitching from the stretch like he's leaning against a lamppost.
Yeah, it looks like maybe some of the Cub fans on Waveland Avenue after the World Series.
What are you saying?
Kind of holding on to the parking meter, wobbling around a little bit.
Hey. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Yeah, Guerin's got that low 3/4 delivery. At times he'll drop even lower than that, almost fully sidearm, and that really flattens his stuff out. When he stays up at that low 3/4 arm angle, he gets good movement on his slider, gets good movement on his sinker, but when he drops that arm a little too far, everything tends to flatten out.
Now the Giants trying to reconfigure a new bullpen. They've got George Contos back there, who was very good last year. Derek Law had a promising rookie season last year. Ty Blach, a starting pitcher, is the only lefty. They like Neil Ramirez and Hunter Strickland. And of course they have a $62 million closer in Mark Melancon. But after Sunday's opener, the nerve level on the Giant bullpen is even higher than it was coming into the season. AJ on deck. Archie having a nice at bat here. He's even 2-2. But Guerin wins the battle, gets the strikeout, and he strands the leadoff single through 6. D-backs trail at 8-4.
Archie Bradley back out to the mound to start the top half of the 7th. Giants lead the D-backs 8-4. Hey fans, MLB.TV Premium is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, you get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Well, D-backs trail at 8-4 as we start the 7th. Archie Bradley back out there. The Giants have Had plenty of offense tonight. 6 different Giants have 2 hits in the ball game. They've out-hit the Diamondbacks 13-7. And Gorkys Hernandez, who has a single, a double, and 4 RBIs, leads it off. Boy, Padres continue leading the Dodgers. It's 3-0 San Diego in LA. They're in the 7th inning. Clayton Richard has tossed 6 scoreless innings for San Diego, giving up just 5 hits. Harvey Solarte has a home run in that game for the Padres. Rockies won again in Milwaukee 6-5. Another save for new Colorado closer Greg Holland. Ryan Braun had a home run in that game for Milwaukee. Full count on Hernandez, 3-2. Leadoff walk.
First baseman, Brandon Belt.
Well, you've sent me down a dark path.
Uh-oh.
You talked me into doing Beat the Streak, which is a lot of fun. I'm already addicted. I downloaded the app earlier today and looked at some of the matchups, and I liked Francisco Lindor against Martin Perez in Texas, and naturally Lindor 0 for 3. So thanks a lot.
Well, it happens.
Who'd you go with today?
I had A.J. Pollock, so I'm on the board with that single he had back in the 3rd inning, and I also took Hunter Pence just because of his ridiculous career numbers against Patrick Corbin. So
stay hot.
I doubled down today.
Beat the Streak is an app you can download for free on your phone. Just go to your app store and type in Beat the Streak. You can download it in 10 seconds, and it's a lot of fun. D-backs have the shift on for Brandon Belt. You can pick 1 or 2 hitters every day, and you just try to see how long you can get your hitting streak going. You can pick any hitter in any game in the major leagues. And we'll follow along with you this year. BB had a nice run last season, riding the Trey Turner Express.
Oh, man. He was money last year.
You got up to about 20 almost, didn't you?
I got into the mid-20s, yeah. Playing Trey Turner just about every day.
Well, so far I'm naturally 0 for 1. In the air, deep right field, Peralta. Just shy of the warning track, 1 away in the 7th.
Of course, you shouldn't blame me. We should all blame Terry Sims from Prescott.
Our friend Terry.
Yeah, Terry was the guy that was making a run at it. Yeah, he, I think, had the 2nd longest streak ever in Beat the Streak.
He was going for $1 million. You can win $1 million doing this, too.
Well, you can actually win $5.6 million.
Oh, that's it. Yeah,
if you get to 57 games in a row.
One better than Joe D.
Yeah.
Pence has doubled and singled, so BB's Beat the Streak is up to 1.
2. I got a hit from Pollock, too.
Oh, that's right. That's by Goldie, and it's down the right field line. Hernandez heads for 3rd. And Hunter Pence has his 3rd hit tonight.
Yeah, Goldie holding on the runner over there at first base. Bounced off the bag, but just couldn't quite get to that hot shot through the right side.
So Bob and I will be playing Beat the Streak all year long, and we encourage you to join us. Just go on your phone, go into the App Store, type in Beat the Streak, download the app, and just start making your picks, you can pick 1 or 2 players every day.
And you can take it as seriously as you'd like. I mean, you can grind the numbers and go through all the stats and the matchups and the day game, night game, east of the Mississippi, west of the Mississippi, and come up with your picks for the day. Or you can just go with your favorite number or your favorite player.
I know what happened today, too.
What's that?
I should have known right away. Here's Buster Posey. You know, we went over to Goodyear this morning and met all the terrific folks out there, and we dedicated Goldie's Field, a 39th Diamondback field built by the Arizona Diamondbacks Foundation and our friends at APS with a great help from Don Branton over there. But I made the catastrophic mistake of riding over there with the cooler.
Oh, see, that's a bad mistake.
So I got cooled right away. And naturally, first day on Beat the Streak, I'm 0 for 1. I mean, the guy just, I mean, he's the cooler.
He is.
Archie wants some guys moved around behind him. So really, it's his fault. Gorky Hernandez at third, Hunter Pence at first. 1 out. 1-1 to Buster Posey. In there for a strike.
Certainly not to the extreme of Johnny Cueto, but I've noticed Archie Bradley from time to time will really speed up his delivery to home plate. It's not the shimmy and shake and all that other stuff, but just a little something to throw off the rhythm of the hitter.
You know, it's become a very, very trendy thing with pitchers all over baseball. 1-2 now. Called strike 3. Fastball at 97. Archie's put up some big radar gun readings tonight. He's got 4 strikeouts.
And this is something he'll be able to do out of the bullpen that perhaps he wouldn't have done in the starting rotation. Just go in there and go as hard as you can, as long as you can.
Another reason why maybe this is a pretty good fit. Yeah, because if you're going to go out there and try and go at least 5 or 6 innings, you got to chill out a little bit, right, and work 92, 93 and save some bullets.
You can't go max effort on every pitch if your pitching coach and manager expect you to go 5 or 6 or 7 innings as a starting pitcher, but coming in out of that bullpen, limited duty, hey, let it fly.
Crawford pops up the first pitch, very shallow left. Chris Owens calling for it. And Archie Bradley does a good job, works around the walk and a single. Archie's looked good tonight. D-backs trail at 8-4. Bottom 7, D-backs trail the Giants 8-4. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. A look ahead to the rest of the series. Taijuan Walker makes his D-backs debut tomorrow against lefty Matt Moore. And then the Shark, Jeff Samardzija, takes on lefty Robbie Ray Thursday in the series finale. And then the Cleveland Indians come in here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You were watching a Samardzija take BP today.
It was ridiculous. I mean, he was hitting balls up in Friday's Front Row Sports Grill. He actually hit the Friday sign up there.
Come on.
Above the restaurant.
Really?
Yeah, it was, you know, roof and panels were open early, and yeah, batting practice pitcher out there flipping them up there 60 miles an hour. I mean, he swings hard. I wouldn't call him a good hitter, but he swings hard, and when he does make contact, he tends to put a charge in it.
Hitting some home runs for Notre Dame. AJ down 0-2. Corey Guerin back out there, his second inning of work on in relief of Johnny Cueto. AJ singled in the third, 1 for 3. Boy, Guerin almost threw that one to the backstop. 2-2. David Peralta on deck. Goldie behind him. Goldie is homered, so is Jake Lamb. Full count, 3-2. Pretty impressive, actually. The Diamondbacks hit 2 home runs against Johnny Cueto tonight. Cueto worked almost 220 innings last season and only gave up 15 home runs.
Yeah, home runs have never been a big issue for Cueto, even when pitching at Great American Ballpark for the Reds. And everybody was speculating pitching out at AT&T Park with that cavernous outfield, especially from right center around to left center. They thought he might not give up any home runs.
Goldie a solo shot to lead off the 4th. Jake Lamb a 2-run homer into the pool in the 5th. And for Jake, the 32nd all-time home run by a Diamondback player. Hit into the Ramtrucks.com pool. Another 3-2 to A.J. Pollock. Inside, a leadoff walk. Looking for base runners here. That's a good start.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Oh, Bruce Bochy now knee deep into that Giant bullpen. Guerin worked a full inning in the 6th. He walks Pollock to lead off the 7th. Back after this. Back at Chase Field, Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly along the way. D-backs trail the Giants 8-4. A.J. Pollock a walk to lead off the 7th. And out of the game is Corey Guerin. In comes George Contos, who had a good year last year. A 3-2 mark, a 2.53 ERA in 57 outings.
Those 11 spring training innings gave up 5 earned runs. That's a .409 earned run average.
Now batting, right field.
This is a guy I think Bruce Bochy is really hoping takes the next step and becomes that reliable guy that he can use late in a ball game trying to get to Mark Melancon.
Well, they're going to need him to be that guy, that's for sure. David Peralta 0-for-3. And still looking for his first base hit in 2017. A.J. at first, nobody out. A.J.'s been aboard twice today, a single and a walk. That coming off his 3-hit game on Sunday. Rolls away from Posey, but Pollock stays put. Two and 0. Diamondbacks have a chance here to get right back in it. Pollock aboard. Peralta ahead in the count. Goldie behind him. Then Lamb. They've both homered. A.J. takes off for second. Here's the throw. The pitch is a strike, and Pollock has his first stolen base this year. Running down 4.
Well, you know, we talked to Torey Lovullo about that, and he said he's not going to steal bases at any time unless the percentages are well in their favor. And, you know, once again with Dave McKay over there eyeballing George Contos, he's seen plenty of him in the past. A.J. Pollock has seen plenty of George Contos. Apparently they picked something up in his delivery because it wasn't even close down there at second base.
The 2-1 is in the air. Center field for Gorkys Hernandez. A.J. at second. And he'll hold there.
And it's not a percentage move to steal bases when you're trailing by 4 runs. You need base runners and send somebody to launch one in the gap or out of the ballpark. But once again, if the numbers are in your favor and you there's no guarantees you're going to steal the base, but if the numbers say 85% of the time he's going to be safe, well, then they're going to try to steal, regardless of the game score.
Goldie has homered, walked, and scored twice. And if you're just joining us, his solo homer to lead off the fourth. Career hit number 847, tying Goldie with Steve Finley for the second most in Diamondbacks history behind Gonzo, who's got over 1,300. Squibbed foul, and it's 0-2. Here comes the Lizard King. There he is, Rodney Morrison, pouncing on that one. Wow, getting a big round of applause from some Giants fans down there. He did the right thing.
Yeah. Lit their fire.
I see what you did there. Kind of a musical theme to our Golden Glovers tonight with Skip Don't Call Me Mitch Miller down the left field line. Did you ever watch that as a kid? What was it? Sing Along with Mitch Miller?
Yeah, I remember seeing the show. I can't say I remember a lot of it.
Yeah, they'd have the lyrics on the bottom of the screen. The little ball would bounce up and down.
Ball. Yeah, you could sing right along.
I think they were watching that in the Dennis Lamb household when Dennis was growing up. Nowadays, they watch the Dennis Lamb Show.
Yeah.
Starring Dennis Lamb. Goldie can't catch up to the fastball. Second out in the seventh. Our Cox Gig Life high speed highlights. Jake Lamb in the fifth, and watch this one go.
It's really amazing when a major league hitter recognizes a pitch as quickly as Jake Lamb recognized that delivery from Johnny Cueto. It was off the plate away, but made the adjustments over the course of his swing to get out there, get the barrel on that ball, and pull it back to right center field. Just an amazing swing that time.
The 32nd all-time home run by a D-backs player into the RamTrucks.com pool. Last guy to do it was Brandon Drury last September against the Rockies. He's ahead of George Contos 1-0. AJ at second and 2 outs. And for Jake Lamb, he's now got 6 career hits against Johnny Cueto. 4 of them for extra bases, 2 doubles and 2 homers. As Manny Tomas would be next. One and 2. Jake tonight has struck out, walked, homered. He scored twice, knocked in 2. Called strike 3. Contos strands that leadoff walk, and AJ is left at second. To the 8th inning we go. Diamondbacks trail at 8-4. Back at Chase Field, D-backs trail the Giants 8-4, and Archie Bradley is back out there. He's already worked 2 1/3 innings in relief. And boy, he's hit as high as 99 on the radar gun. He's shown some very impressive velocity. He's walked one. He's got 4 strikeouts, and he's given up 2 hits. Eduardo Nunez leads off the San Francisco 8th. No one throwing the D-backs bullpen. .94 from Bradley, and it's 0-1. Now, Archie was not shy about saying in spring training that he'd rather be in the big leagues in the bullpen than in AAA as a starter. He wants to be in the major leagues and wants to pitch against big league hitters. And he really believes that, look, not in a cocky or selfish way, but he feels like he has advanced far enough at this point to where he's a big league pitcher every day. And he's had some big league stuff here tonight.
Explosive fastball. You mentioned he touched 99. His average fastball tonight sitting just a tick under 96 miles an hour, which you break down all of his outings over the course of his career, and that's the highest velocity he's ever had for a 30-pitch stretch.
Well, now you see why he was so enthused with the way he was throwing the baseball, the way he was feeling, the way the baseball was coming out of his hand this spring. Just put me on the team. Comfortable in any role, any capacity. Missed at 97 that time, and it's a full count 3-2. Pitcher spot 2 up next, and Connor Gillespie's in the on-deck circle. Archie Bradley strikes out. Archie Bradley and his fastball, BB. It's our State Farm winning combo tonight. How does he look to you?
Now he can throw it much better than he has tonight. You know, when he doesn't rush, when he takes his time and lets his body catch up, all of his stuff is very crisp, especially that fastball. Sometimes he's almost in too big a hurry to let the ball go, and that's when he sprays it around and starts falling behind counts. But boy, when he allows his body to gather over that rubber and get everything going right toward his target, he has really looked good tonight.
Walked 1, struck out 5. Connor Gillespie hitting for the pitcher. Pitcher spot is 7th in the Giants order. Gillespie temporarily gave the Giants the lead on Sunday. That pinch hit sac fly in the 9th against Fernando Rodney that made it 5-4. His numbers last year. D-backs have the shift on. Brandon Drury near the second base bag. The shortstop Chris Owings out there in short right. Jake Lamb all by himself in the shortstop spot. Diamondbacks, it's only been less than 2 games, but they seem more inclined to move the shortstop Owings well over toward the right field line and leave the second baseman where he might normally be, and Jake Lamb handles everything on the left-hand side. That's the way it's gone more often than not so far. Archie behind 3-1. That one missed at 95. Bullpen still quiet for the Diamondbacks with Archie at 45 pitches, but he's been starting all spring long, so he's fully stretched out. Squibb shot foul, and it's 3-2. So back-to-back 3-2 counts open up the Giants' 8th. He struck out Nunez. Now the payoff pitch to Gillespie.
.97 again, beating him with that fastball to the spot. Gillespie well tardy on the last couple of pitches.
And Archie's got that vibe, like as soon as he gets the ball back, he wants to throw it again. You can tell he's kind of in the zone here. He's got a really good rhythm going. Blew him away at 96. That's 6 strikeouts for Bradley. 2 down in the 8th.
Second baseman, Joe Pennick.
Not sure if it was intentional or not, but a really good pitch right there. Elevated the fastball. He was pounding Gillespie down, down, down in the zone. He was just able to keep getting a piece of it, but finally elevated that fastball up near the letters and got a swing and a miss.
Joe Pennick. saw a moment ago the bartender, Tom Wilhelmsen, the right-hander, warming up in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. Panik has walked, singled, doubled. He scored twice. Archie a strike away from getting the side in order. Here's the 1-2. Center field. It's a base hit for Panik. His third hit tonight. And that'll bring up Jared Parker.
Left fielder.
There's another part of the equation here too, Bob. If you want to keep Archie Bradley in this role, there is depth in terms of your starting pitching at AAA Reno. You've got guys down there, you know, like Anthony Bonda and Braden Shipley and Matt Cook, Zach Godley. So it's not like if you need a starter, well, it's automatically got to be Archie. You have other guys you could go to if you wanted to leave him in this role.
Sure.
But boy, so far there's a lot to like.
I'll tell you, dependable relief pitchers are as valuable a commodity as a middle of the rotation starter.
That sounds like the voice of experience.
You know, when you can pick up that phone and call down to the bullpen, and the guy that gets up and starts warming up, you feel real good about your chances when he comes into the game. And let's face it, there's not a whole lot of bullpens that are stocked with a bunch of those guys. Most teams have 2 or 3 at the end of a ball game that they really like, and they have a lot of faith in them. And then the rest of the bullpen is guys that maybe are hit or miss, real good one day, not so good the next.
Well, as he gets a little deeper into the game now, he's over 50 pitches. That fastball command, and he was painting some corners earlier, but that command is maybe not quite as sharp as it was an inning or two ago.
Well, you know, he needs to discover his limitations out of the bullpen as well. We mentioned an inning or so ago that, you know, he's just coming in there flame on now. He's not trying to massage his way through the opposing lineup. He's not worried about facing hitters a second and third time. He's just going as hard as he can for as long as he can. So now you want to discover, how long is that? How long can you come in and throw in the upper 90s with effectiveness before you start to lose your command or your mechanics come apart? And that's something I'm sure that Mike Butcher and Torey Lovullo will keep a close eye on in the early going this season to find out what that number is.
Ramirez and Law, 2 right-handers in the Giant bullpen. You can see Jeff Mathis, the veteran catcher, out there. Something that maybe Archie's overthrowing a bit. Behind on Parker, 2-0. That is a foul ball. And the Lizard King is right there. It's going to be very interesting to watch the evolution of Archie Bradley here in this new role. Where does he fit? How long can he go? How often can he go? Shift still on for Parker. 2-2 now. Another fastball from Archie at 95. Two and two. Got him. Archie Bradley, 3 1/3, 7 strikeouts. Diamondbacks down 8-4.
We go to the bottom of the 8th. Jody Jackson and Mark Grace getting set for Diamondbacks Live, presented by CenturyLink, our post-game show. Join us right after the game. Now, Gracie, this game, situation where the Diamondbacks really had it get away from them in the 5th when the Giants batted around.
Yeah, 5-run 5th, got away from with a leadoff home run, a big error by Chris Owings. Open the door. Championship teams are going to hurt you. However, we're also going to talk about a few innings that did not get away once Archie Bradley took them out.
All right, he's throwing hard. That will be one of many topics on our post-game show. Guys?
All right, thanks, guys. We'll look forward to that. And for the second time in as many games this year, Derek Law is on to start the 8th inning. Now, Law had a very good season last year, as you see here, a 2.13 ERA in 61 appearances, but he came on to start the 8th on Sunday and faced 3 batters, gave up 3 hits. Yasmani Tomas swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Very quickly, 1 away. Law came on Sunday, gave up singles to Pollock, Owings, and Goldie, and was out of the game. But he retires Tomas to open up this 8th inning. Now here's Brandon Drury, who so far is 3 for 3.
Joe Panik is sneaking up the middle of the field.
You called it. He's almost right behind the second base bag. Drury, all 3 singles right up the middle, over the mound and into center. And Panik has positioned himself almost directly behind the bag.
Yep, and Belt way off the line over there at first.
You called that one. So Brandon Drury already with 4 hits on the season. He was 1 for 4 on Sunday, 3 for 3 tonight. Breaking balls in there for a strike, and it's 1-2.
There have been a few high breaking balls called in this game by Tim Timmons behind the plate. He's heard some barking from both dugouts on some of those high strike calls on breaking balls.
And then tries the fastball down and away. Missed it. It's 2-2. Chris Owings, an RBI single in the 4th. He's on deck.
A little quick pitch from Law.
You know, the first guy that I can remember the last few years who really kind of brought that back was LaTroy Hawkins. Remember that when he was pitching in relief for the Rockies? He did that a lot.
Yeah, sometimes he'd go into the full windup, hands above the head, the whole deal, the high leg kick, and other times he'd just throw the ball. No windup. No leg kick.
Oh, he hit it right to the same spot, and Panik was ready. Close play at first, but they retired Drury for the first time tonight. Well, that worked out nicely for the Giants. He was right there.
Well, you know what else works out well? When the Diamondbacks win, because the day after every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACS50 at papajohns.com.
Chris Owings 1 for 3 with that RBI single. Breaking ball moved him off the plate.
You know, thinking about the Brandon Drury little mini shift they had on right there, I think that's going to work in Brandon's favor ultimately. I don't consider Brandon Drury to be a dead pull hitter. He drives the ball to the opposite field with authority. We've seen him get some base hits through the right side. Seen him hit some extra base hits into the gap. You mentioned he dunked one into the pool last year.
Good line drive hitter to right center.
You know, he's not a strict dead pull hitter. So I think that ultimately will work to his advantage against the Giants if they continue to play him that way.
Like I mean, that's classic Brandon Drury right there. He's 3 for 4 and he's in the dugout shaking his head. I mean, he is just the intensity, and it's a very, very quiet intensity, but I guarantee you he is simmering right now that he didn't make it 4 for 4. CO can't check. Yes, he went, says Tim Timmons, and Law works a 1-2-3 eighth inning. Diamondbacks trail at 8-4. Roof and panels open in downtown Phoenix. We're at Chase Field. Our Gila River game summary. Boy, the Giants led 3-0. Diamondbacks got within 2. It was a 1-run ball game in the 5th inning. And then the Giants batted around. It was a rough night for Randall Delgado. They sent 10 men to the plate, 5 scored. And they took a big lead. Home runs tonight from Goldie and Jake Lamb. Jake hit one into the pool. And it's 8-4 as the bartender, Tom Wilhelmsen, is out there to start the ninth. Our ash line called to the bullpen. And Tom Wilhelmsen pitched in the opener on Sunday, came out to start the 6th inning. Retired Posey to lead off that inning, and then a double by Crawford and a single by Nunez ended Tom's day. And he'll face Gorkys Hernandez, the leadoff man, to lead off the ninth. Tom Wilhelmsen, the Tucson native, a big dude out there at 6'6", 220. Signed to a minor league deal just before spring training opened up.
That sounds big, but when you stand close to him, he looks bigger than that.
He's one bartender that you won't argue with.
Yeah, I went down to the clubhouse after the opening day win and talked to Tom for a few minutes, and he got up off his stool, and I didn't know if it was ever going to stop.
Well, I bet that was a big moment for him because he grew up in Tucson, a huge Diamondback fan, and he said, you know, when you won the World Series, he was driving around with the D-backs flag in the back of his pickup truck. And it's a thrill for him, he said, to wear the D-backs uniform, his hometown team. So that had to be a big deal for him to go down there and have you say hello.
If I'd have known about the hut when we were training down in Tucson, I probably would have frequented that place.
Called strike 3. Well, it's a great story if you haven't heard about Tom Wilhelmsen's story. Drafted by the Brewers out of Tucson in 2002. He pitched 1 season in their minor league system. Was suspended after twice testing positive for marijuana and quit baseball. He walked away and retired at the age of 21. He said he knew he just didn't want to play anymore. He wasn't searching for himself or anything, wasn't trying to find himself. He had just kind of had enough, and so he stepped away and did what he wanted to do, and that was travel, go hiking, just kind of get lost in the woods. He just was not in the mood to play baseball anymore. And he did that for 5 years. Brandon Belt. And as you mentioned, he went back home, went back to Tucson, got a job tending bar at the Hut, which is a great tiki bar right near the U of A campus. So he did that for a while. He worked as a guide at national parks. He played beer league softball. He backpacked around Europe, and he was just a kid basically doing things that kids in their early 20s do. And he kind of bummed around for 5 years and felt finally after a while he was ready to give baseball one more shot. So he had a tryout. He signed with an independent team, the Tucson Toros. The Mariners saw him there. He signed him back in 2010, and he was in the big leagues the next year. And for 5 years, he was a really good relief pitcher in the Mariners bullpen. And now he's a Diamondback, the Tucson native, back home.
Now, one thing he never lost in his journeys around the world and the tiki bar down in Tucson is that fastball. He still throws in the upper 90s.
Sure does. So it's good to know with what we've seen from Archie Bradley tonight, hitting 99 at times. And Tom Wilhelmsen mid to upper 90s. There's some heat back there. Jorge De La Rosa, his velocity's been way up this spring. He's throwing 95. 3-2 to Belts. Well, Tom Wilhelmsen, 2 batters, 2 strikeouts. This guy had a very, very good spring. And they feel good about him back there.
Right fielder.
Breaking ball that time at 88. Yeah, a hard slider. Doesn't have a lot of lateral movement, but has a lot of downward movement at 88 and got the swing and a miss.
Hunter Pence, 2 singles and a double tonight. On the ground to second, Drury the backhander. The bartender, Tom Wilhelmsen, a 1-2-3 inning. Diamondbacks down 4, bottom 9 coming up. Diamondbacks trail at 8-4, bottom 9. And the right-hander Hunter Strickland on from the Giant bullpen. His numbers last year, he led San Francisco, 72 relief appearances. 3-3, a 3.10 ERA.
Another guy with a big arm, throws consistently in the mid to upper 90s.
Well, Hunter Strickland might be on baby watch here. He and his wife Shelley are expecting the birth of their baby daughter Kinsey any moment now. So if the bullpen phone rings, it might not be to start warming up. Warm up the car. Well, Jeff Mathis due to lead off the inning, but instead it's the Herminator, Chris Herman, who will hit for Mathis. Pitcher spot after that. And Jeremy Hazelbaker is in the on-deck circle. So Herman here for Mathis. And the numbers for Chris last year, 284, 6 homers. Chris had a very good spring, hit over 330 in spring training with a pair of homers. Played a lot, had more than 50 at-bats. He caught, he played first base, he played corner outfield. And we expect to see him at all those positions this year. Chopped over the mound. Crawford, second base side of the bag, throws him out. And now Jeremy Hazelbaker will hit for Wilhelmsen.
Tom Wilhelmsen, number 41, Jeremy Hazelbaker.
Hazelbaker won the 4th outfield spot in camp. Gregor Blanco, the former Giant, was injured. And Hazelbaker, who played a lot this spring, 55 at-bats, made the opening day roster. He hit 182 this spring, 1 extra base hit. Hazelbaker last year broke into the big leagues as a 28-year-old rookie. He's 29 now. Hit 235 with 12 home runs for the Cardinals.
First at bat of the season, but he's already scored a run.
That's true. He came at a pinch run on Sunday.
Yeah, Daniel Descalso hit that 2-out double, or rather Jeff Mathis hit the 2-out double, and Hazelbaker came in to run for him and came around to score before getting an official at bat this season.
Hazelbaker, a guy who can play all 3 outfield spots. He started 15 games in center field for St. Louis last year. And a good left-hand bat to have on your bench. Don't forget Diamondback Live post-game show coming up immediately after our ball game. Gracie standing by with Jody Jackson. Two and two to Jeremy Hazelbaker. Taijuan Walker gets the baseball tomorrow. His D-backs debut coming up against left-hander Matt Moore. A.J. Pollock will be next here. And Robbie Ray starts the series finale on Thursday. Jeff Samardzija will start that game for the Giants. And then after that, the Cleveland Indians, defending American League champs, come in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Don't forget, fans, Jake Lamb Bobblehead Day coming up on Saturday. Courtesy of 98.7 FM Arizona Sports. First 20,000 fans get the Jake Lamb Bobblehead. So get out here on Saturday, watch the Tribe, and get your Jake Lamb Bobblehead. Hazelbaker's worked at full 3-2. Need base runners here.
Mark Melancon, the closer, was throwing as this inning began.
Not a lot of faith. Well, there's a good at bat by Jeremy Hazelbaker. Behind in the count, he worked a 1-out walk. So maybe Bruce Bochy had an inkling. AJ tonight has singled, walked, stolen a base. 1 for 3.
You know, that will take a toll over the course of the season if you have so little faith in your setup guys that you get your closer up with a 4-run lead as the inning begins. Mark Melancon is going to be out of gas by the All-Star break.
You think Strickland notices that?
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
Hazelbaker is a very good base runner down there at first. Bruce Bochy, with what he's been through with his bullpen last year and again on Sunday, kind of hard to blame him.
Oh, and a lot of people around baseball have felt for years that that was always Bruce Bochy's strength, his ability to play matchups late in the game. Of course, he had different personnel to do it with.
AJ, this is going to stay playable for Belt, maybe, and no, thankfully it drifts into the stands. Well, you had Romo in his prime throwing those sliders, and Jeremy Affeldt and Javier Lopez dipping down from the left side, and Brian Wilson coming in with all his antics, and the whole thing. The cast of characters back there is a little more thin these days.
That's what we were talking about earlier in the ball game. Dependable relief pitchers, guys that you know what you're going to get when you call down to that bullpen and they come out that gate. They may not always get everybody out. They may not always nail down a victory, but more often than not, they're going to do what you expect them to do.
And another one leaking toward the seats, and that's going to get out of play as well behind the D-backs dugout. Quick hands down there. Ooh.
Nicely done, sir.
He was ready, had the glove, the whole thing.
And I believe the gentleman that gave him that ball was a Giants fan. Very nicely done.
Yes, he went. Jim Wolf rings up Pollock. 2 down in the 9th.
Yeah, AJ didn't think so, but it looked like he got out there a little bit too far. Strickland able to get that slider close enough to the plate to make AJ start the bat, but this couldn't hold up as it broke off the outside corner.
Well, it's time to get the freight train running. He's 0 for 8 on the season so far. Hazelbaker at first and 2 outs. That Padre-Dodger game is now a final. In Los Angeles, San Diego blanks LA 4-0. Clayton Richard 8 scoreless innings, gave up just 5 hits. Hazelbaker will take second uncontested. No stolen base for Jeremy. A 1-1 count on David Peralta. Rockies won again in Milwaukee. They beat the Brewers 6-5. Cubs beat the Cardinals. Arrieta over Wainwright. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. Well, Brandon Webb was taking a lot of credit on Sunday for his trademark never say Diamondbacks. As they got 4 straight hits, all with 2 outs in the 9th. But tonight they're down to their last strike.
And Webby's nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, interesting. And that's the ball game. Well, the Diamondbacks were down 3-0. They came back to make it a 1-run game with 2 in the 4th. But then things got ugly. A 5-run Giant 5th led the way to an 8-4 D-backs loss.
Yeah, you know, even though it was an 8-4 loss and parts of this game were pretty ugly for the Diamondbacks, it really still felt like they had a chance to get back in it against this Giants bullpen. A couple of key hits, they'd have been right back in this ball game, but we'll come back and try it again tomorrow.
A 4-game series so far, even at a game apiece. 8-4 the final here. Diamondbacks live post game is set to go. Gracie standing by with Jody Jackson. Jody.
All right, thanks, guys. That's right. Post-game show is coming up. And Gracie, we will talk about that inning that got away, the 5th inning for the Giants where they batted around. But we did see tonight Archie Bradley really saving the pen by going 3 1/3 scoreless.
No question about it. It was good to see Archie Bradley come out and have some success right out of the gate. Unfortunately, it was already when the Diamondbacks were quite a bit behind. But what Archie did, I think, is he impressed probably his manager, his pitching coaches, and his teammates, and maybe, just maybe, that role in the bullpen for the Diamondbacks, it might be a little more of a positive role for Archie here going forward.
No question, it looks that way. When he's in the pen now, we're seeing him throw a lot harder. We'll talk about that and more coming up on our post-game show. It's all coming your way in moments right here on Fox Sports Arizona.